Happy Super Bowl slop Sunday to you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. We're going to have a big show for you tonight. It's not the Seattle Seagulls and the Boston Pilgrims or whoever's playing tonight. No. It's even better than that. So sit back, buckle your safety harness. We've got a lot to cover. The opening is fun. It's something that's been stirring around in my head, but I've not yet had the right language to put it all together. And I finally did. Something happened this weekend, and I was able finally to put it all together in my head and get it squared away. So we're going to have that for you. The opening is fun. It spells out a lot of things that have been swirling around in all of our heads, but not located all in one place. And then we have one of the wildest stories I've ever seen. And it's the type of story that if it had happened to an adult male, the guy would have been run out of town on a rail. I have no idea why the adult female has not been run out of town on a rail. So that's the second thing. And the third thing, if we have time to get to it, and I think we will, a very disturbing post from our friends up the road here in the Middle Tennessee area that run what's the right word I'm looking for? A media empire. It's not E-Crew, or is it E-Crew? A-Crew? I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what color this is. It's kind of like a bone white. So settle in. We're going to have a big night for you, and I hope you are enjoying yourselves, and we'll get right to it. I do have a little bit of a hard cap tonight. My 19-year-old daughter's coming to the house tonight, and I want to spend a little time with her before it gets too terribly late. We've got to be somewhere early in the morning, and so I can't be here till midnight. It's 5 o'clock Central Standard Time right now, so I don't think that'll be an issue. It's not mushroom either. I don't think. I don't know what color. I must be colorblind. You guys identify colors I don't even see. But let me get into the opening, because I think this is one of the more important openings I've done in terms of, again, consolidating everything and putting meat on the bones of what we've sort of been talking about. So let's get into it. I don't want to waste any more time. Here is, ladies and gentlemen, your opening statement. Oh. Someone sent me something very important real quickly. It is the Real Baron Podcast Super Bowl Sunday Live Challenge. So don't think I don't know what you guys are anticipating. I've already said, ladies and gentlemen, twice. That's worth 2 points. So don't think I don't pay attention to what you guys are doing. I've got my little feelers everywhere. I know what you guys are talking about. All right, here we go. Here's your opening statement. Actually, give me a second. Let me move some stuff around so I can see it. I don't want to read it this way. Y'all think I'm weird. All right, here we go. This is why I need a producer. I say that every day. That's not on the list, though. All right. Sheep dipping is a practice deeply embedded in the operations of intelligence agencies. Both foreign and domestic agencies use this practice. The term originates from agricultural practices where sheep are dipped in a chemical bath to rid them of parasites. In the intelligence world, it refers to the process of cleansing or disguising an asset's true affiliation by immersing them in a fabricated civilian identity. This technique allows assets to operate undercover without arousing suspicion. It effectively severs visible ties to the intelligence community while maintaining covert connections. Historically, sheep dipping gained prominence during the Cold War era, especially in CIA-led operations. For instance, during the Vietnam War, the CIA employed sheep dipping for pilots and personnel involved in the Air America program. Air America was a CIA proprietary airline used for covert logistics and combat support in Southeast Asia. Military personnel, often from the U.S. Air Force or United States Army, would be officially discharged from military service and then assume civilian roles as pilots for the airline. The discharge, of course, was a ruse. The individuals remained under government control, but their civilian status provided plausible deniability for the government if their operations were ever exposed. The practice ensured that if captured or compromised, the operatives could not be directly linked back to active duty. This avoided international incidents or congressional scrutiny. In broader intelligence contexts, sheep dipping extends beyond military to civilian transitions. It involves assigning assets to legitimate jobs in private sectors. These sectors often involve journalism, academia, entertainment, and humanitarian organizations. The cover industry masks the espionage activities. For example, an asset might be placed in a media outlet to gather information or influence narratives, all while appearing as a regular employee. This alternate identity is meticulously crafted, often including backstories, employment records, and social networks that withstand basic scrutiny. The goal is to create a legend, a comprehensive cover story. This allows the agent to infiltrate targets, conduct surveillance, or execute missions, often without detection. Sheep dipping requires sophisticated logistics. These include forged or staged documents, financial trails, and sometimes even life events like marriages or career changes. The intelligence community has dedicated units for such tradecraft, drawing from historical precedents like Operation Paperclip, where Nazi scientists were sheep dipped into American academia or industry after World War II. In modern times, it's used in counterterrorism, cyber operations, and influence campaigns. Critics argue it blurs ethical lines, as it can involve deceiving allies, deceiving the public, or even deceiving close personal friends and family members. The practice isn't limited to the United States. Other nations do employ similar tactics, sometimes even here in the United States against U.S. citizens or even against the U.S. government. Today, with digital footprints complicating covers, sheep dipping has evolved. It now incorporates online personas and social media manipulation. Ultimately, sheep dipping remains a cornerstone of human intelligence, as it enables assets to navigate hostile environments while preserving operational security. The intelligence community has a deep affinity for the entertainment industry as a vehicle for sheep dipping. This stems from the entertainment industry's unique attributes. It provides ideal cover for covert operations. The entertainment business offers a world of glamour, mobility, and ambiguity. It makes it easier to embed assets without raising too many red flags. The intelligence community has historically recruited from or placed operatives in this sector because it allows for seamless integration into global networks. It also allows for integration into irregular lifestyles and access to influential figures. And it does it all under the guise of legitimate creative work. One primary reason it's effective is the entertainment industry's perceived complexity. The entertainment industry also has inherent flexibility and international reach. Most regular people don't understand how the entertainment business truly works. If someone claims to be part of it, most people just take that claim at face value. We regular people might notice if you claim to be an actor and you don't actually get any acting gigs, but we might not be so quick to notice someone who claims to be a screenwriter or casting director. No offense to anyone in those particular lines of work, but nobody knows who you are. And we wouldn't be able to tell if you were actually doing the work or if someone was just giving you credit for their work in order to support your sheep-dipped cover story. Entertainers, producers, and crew members travel frequently to exotic locations for shoots, festivals, and tours. This mirrors the needs of assets who require mobility. An agent sheep-dipped as a film scout or an actor can justify his or her presence in a foreign country. They can attend high-profile events and interact with elites without drawing too much suspicion. During the Cold War, the intelligence community used Hollywood connections to propagate anti-communist narratives through films. They simultaneously used the industry as a front for operatives. For example, the agency collaborated with studios to shape scripts, ensuring positive portrayals that doubled as recruitment tools. Another appeal is the entertainment world's tolerance for eccentric behaviors and fluid identities. Entertainment insiders and performers are trained in the art of deception. They assume roles, they memorize lines, they adopt personas. This aligns perfectly with espionage tradecraft. This revolving door between intel and entertainment allows the intelligence community to draw inspiration from Hollywood while providing cover. Operatives can pose as consultants or liaisons. They can influence content to burnish the intelligence community's image and further their goals. The entertainment industry also serves as a propaganda machine. By sheep-dipping agents into entertainment, intelligence agencies often subtly steer narratives. Consider just one example. The CIA's Entertainment Liaison Office has supported over 1,000 films and TV shows. They portray the agency heroically. This mutual benefit of access for filmmakers and positive spin for the intelligence community, it creates a symbiotic relationship. The risk to both sides is extremely low. If the connection is ever exposed, it can be dismissed as creative consulting. Finally, the entertainment industry provides deniability and cultural camouflage. In an era of surveillance, a celebrity or producer persona deflects attention as public scrutiny focuses on scandals rather than covert activities. This has led to real-world crossovers where Hollywood figures participated in operations which blurred lines even further. Overall, the industry's allure lies in its ability to hide spies in plain sight, leveraging fame and fiction for espionage efficacy. Enter one Erika Frantzve. Erika has built a multifaceted career blending pageantry, entertainment, entrepreneurship, philanthropy, and even real estate before stepping into a prominent role as the head of TPUSA following the death of Charlie Kirk. She earned a bachelor's degree in political science and international relations in 2012. She later pursued advanced studies at Liberty University. She obtained a Juris Master in American Legal Studies in 2017 and a doctorate in Christian leadership with a focus on biblical studies. I think she was scheduled to complete that last year. Her early professional foray was into philanthropy. At just 17 years old, she co-founded the 501c3 charity Everyday Heroes Like You with her mother. Everyday Heroes Like You work to highlight community leaders and heroes, and shortly after it was formed, Erika started Romanian Angels, which did work in a Romanian orphanage. Romanian Angels partnered with the United States Marines. In her early 20s, Erika claims to have worked as a model, an actress, and even a casting director, with experiences spanning New York City and even into China. In 2011, she was first runner-up in Miss Arizona USA. She won the title in 2012, representing Miss Arizona at Miss USA 2012. And her meager acting credits include a 2012 music video no one has ever seen and a guest appearance on an episode or two of Bravo's Summer House in 2019. Around 2013, she appeared either in a documentary or a promotional piece discussing U.S. power grid vulnerabilities and EMP threats, and that's likely tied to her family's defense-related businesses. And she also allegedly was filming a movie filmed in or around Fort Huachuca, though it's not believed to have ever been released. That's basically the sum total of her acting experience. Entrepreneurially, she launched Bible in 365 in 2016. This was a faith-based program for reading the Bible in a year. It's unknown how many downloads it has or how widely it was distributed. She also launched Proclaim Streetwear in 2018. This was a Christian apparel line made in the USA. Again, it's unknown if the apparel line has had any real success. In 2019, she started the podcast Midweek Rise Up, a devotional series. The vast majority of the episodes have only a few hundred or even just a few thousand listens. The series looks like it began as a weekly podcast, and it was suspended for about 3 months at the end of 2023 through early 2024. It picked back up in February 2024 for a few months to May of 2024, and then suspended for 9 months until it picked back up again in February of 2025. The last episode, believe it or not, was released on September 8th or September 9th, a day or two before Charlie Kirk passed away. In October 2018, Erika worked for a brief period of time as a licensed real estate agent at the Corcoran Group in New York City. She met Charlie Kirk the month before. The That was during what was allegedly meant to be a job interview at Turning Point. They were engaged in 2020, married in 2021, and had 2 children. Following Charlie's death in September 2025, despite Erika not having any real success at anything in the business world, TPUSA's board unanimously appointed her CEO and chairwoman of a business that had nearly $100 million in assets and was bringing in almost that much every year. It's worth noting at this point her family's background. Her father, Kent Fratnzve, and her mother, Lori Fratnzve, have worked in military and intelligence communities for decades. Now let's get real. Erika Frantzve's official bio reads like the polished LinkedIn profile of a wildly successful person in the entertainment and business world. Pageant queen, model, entrepreneur, real estate agent, podcast host. But peel back the layers and it starts to resemble a classic intelligence cover. It's a sheep dip, in my opinion. Her background is meticulously crafted. It's diverse enough to explain her global travel and elite access. But when you look a little closer, it has massive holes in it. Nothing she has ever done has been particularly successful. She might have been an actress, but she has almost no real acting credits. She might have been a model, but no one can come up with a real portfolio where she's seen modeling. She might have run some nonprofits, but the 990s and federal filings show they were barely subsisting and even stopped operating. She might have been a podcast host, but she didn't have any real volume of views or listens. She might have started a clothing brand, but almost nobody has seen anyone actually wearing the clothes. She might have been a licensed real estate agent, but she got her license after she met Charlie Kirk and left the job shortly thereafter with almost no transactions recorded in her name. What she does have is family ties to defense and intelligence contractors. She has appearances in interviews in either films or commercials with national security professionals. She has almost no other appreciable means that we can tell of supporting herself. This is not the traditional trajectory that lands a person at the helm of an organization as massive as TPUSA. With the history and her weird affect since Charlie's passing, it's not hard to wonder if she's been sheep-dipped. In other words, was Erika Frantzve immersed into civilian roles to provide cover and mask deeper affiliations with the intelligence community? Her early career is textbook sheep-dipping fodder. At 17, founding a nonprofit, focusing on kids in Romania, it sounds innocuous, but it's unusual. But it is perfect for building a humanitarian cover that justifies travel and networking. Nonprofits historically have been a favorite of the intelligence communities. Think about it. A nonprofit does not have to report the donations, where they came from. The money could come from literally anywhere and nobody would know. Then you have her history in pageants. After a life of having never competed in pageants, she takes up the Miss USA pageants in college, competes 4 times in 2 states, and finally wins Miss Arizona USA in 2012. And beauty queens have long been recruited for these glamour ops. They have access to global events. They mingle with dignitaries. And like it or not, and this is just reality, beautiful women have access to places other people can't go. Intelligence communities have used models for honey traps and intelligence gathering. Erika's win coincides with her pivot to the entertainment industry. And speaking of her claims of working in the entertainment industry, despite all evidence to the contrary, these look like the ultimate sheep dip pool. She jets to New York City. She jets to China, allegedly working as a model, an actress, a casting director. And then her transition from light work in the entertainment industry to her purported faith-based ventures like Bible in 365 and the midweek Rise Up podcast and Proclaim Streetwear. These give her credit in conservative circles. Even if they were mostly small and didn't have any real influence, people see it on their face and give it credibility. They are lines on her resume, and they are still there. These are ideal for being able to embed herself in conservative influence operations. And her very brief and mostly unmemorable stint in real estate at one of the largest and most influential real estate groups in New York City gave her access to a network of wealthy and elite people and also access to multi-million-dollar properties. Plus, real estate agents are mobile. The intelligence community loves the real estate business. It's low profile, has almost zero startup costs, and potentially has a very high intelligence yield. And then the pivot to TPUSA, that's where her sheep dip story gets really interesting to me. She supposedly applied to work at TPUSA in the summer of 2018. This was the exact time she was studying to take her New York real estate license and launch her lucrative real estate career in New York. It's really weird to me why she was bothering to interview with what was at the time a pretty small nonprofit based in Phoenix while she was studying for the New York real estate exam at the exact same time. It's never really been explained. Regardless, she met Charlie Kirk in September 2018 at this supposed job interview that turned romantic. They allegedly hit it off. They were engaged in 2020, married in 2021, 2 kids, boom, boom, rapid succession, 2022 and 2024. And then in September 2025, Charlie is killed. Erika, the weirdly smiling and laughing, but supposedly also grieving widow, is unanimously installed as the CEO days later. There's no board fight. There's no real discussion. She's suddenly steering an organization worth hundreds of millions of dollars, an organization that's widely considered one of the most influential political organizations in America. If you stripped all the names and just look at the facts, the narrative itself screams sheep dipping. Almost nobody would look at the raw facts that I just outlined without any names attached, without any names of individuals or organizations attached to it, and conclude this is anything but a wildly successful intelligence operation. A kid raised by defense and intelligence industry parents, sheep dipped into the entertainment industry, sheep dipped into nonprofits, sheep dipped into real estate, and then married into a political front. Does this make TPUSA, or at least TPUSA 2.0, headed by Erika Kirk, an intelligence operation? Well, let's look at what's become of TPUSA after Charlie passed. Just look at the messaging. It pushes narratives aligned with the deep state agenda: anti-China, anti-Islam, pro-Israel, pro-war. In my opinion, Charlie's death was the culmination of her sheep dipping. It placed what appears to be an intelligence community asset at the very top of American conservative politics, at least in my opinion. Now, critics can dismiss all of this. They can say it's one wild series of strange coincidences, a comedy of errors. But in my opinion, patterns don't lie. The varied careers mask the handlers. The international stints build a backstory. The faith angle solidified her cover. The only question in my mind, if she is in fact sheep dipped, is by whom? Is this American intelligence? Or is this foreign intelligence? Or something more sinister, perhaps, like human or arms trafficking, maybe money laundering, or some hybrid combination of any of those. Regardless, her rise to me feels engineered. Nothing about it feels organic. And nothing since the day Charlie Kirk passed away feels to me to be remotely normal. Sheep dipping thrives on doubt. The cover has to be relatable enough that questioning it makes you look paranoid. But connect the dots. Erika's path to the head of TPUSA, to me, looks operational. To know for sure, we need to watch her moves. If TPUSA amps up domestic psyops or foreign policy pushes, perhaps we'll know for sure. And that is the opening statement today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. That to me was one giant opinion, blanketed and allegedly, covered in opinion and allegedly and allegations, allegedly opinionated. None of that is stated as fact. Actually, a lot of that's stated as fact because I looked it up. The history's fact. It's just whether or not it's. But I had trouble putting my hands on how I wanted to word that. And I got the idea late last week that it belongs in the context of sheep dipping. And so that was the best way to explain it. Guys, I've got a very bizarre story. It's so bizarre, I was not going to go with it. I wasn't going to talk about it at all. But I can't not play it. The reason is because it is so bizarre. It is so disturbing. Here's why I wasn't going to play it. And if you look at the title, you know what I'm talking about. The allegedly creepy, alleged relationship with alleged 15-year-old. This is Erika Frantzve we're talking about. Back when she was 25, 26 years old, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And I wasn't going to go forward with it. And I decided to take tonight's show a completely different direction. And then today, as I was thinking about it, I thought, what if we went back to when Charlie Kirk was 25 years old? What if we went back to 11 years ago, or what was that, 6 years ago? And we find out that Charlie Kirk had this exact same text message relationship with a 15-year-old. What would we do? Would we talk about it? And I think the answer to that's yes. Not because this doesn't happen in America. It does. It's unfortunate, but it does. But we would talk about it because the consequences of heading up an organization the size of TPUSA while simultaneously having this documented past, is highly problematic. It opens you to blackmail. It opens you to being used in ways perhaps even you don't want to. So I am going to play it. This is a video from NISC Social, NISSCEE.social on YouTube. If you want to watch the whole thing, please do. I'm only going to play clips of it. I have several clips, but they're like range 15 to 20 seconds long each. The reason is because the rest of it is her commentary or background, and I want to give my own commentary and background. And some of it may mirror hers, and some of it may be slightly different. But I do want to give that plug to her, because if you are interested in seeing more of it, she does a great job. She really does do a good job. But I want to open with this image. This is the opening image that she talks about. That's Erika Frantzve, I believe, in the middle or on the right. I can't tell which. They both have a bad frost. And frankly, so does the man on the left. Is that a man? The whole picture's weird, but they're eating pizza. And as we've learned in the Podesta emails, as we learned in the Einstein emails, when you're talking about pizza, you're not always talking about pizza. But I think that's her in the middle. But I want to let her introduce the 15-year-old girl that 25-year-old Erika Frantzve is striking up a relationship with. So here is how she introduces it.
And oddly enough, 15 days before she posted this picture, she began an interesting relationship with a 15-year-old girl named Jillian. I spent hours digging into this and even heard from Jillian herself. And I think you guys are going to want to hear this.
I agree. You're going to want to hear this. But I wanted to allow her to give the opening. I'm going to skip the commercial she does and launch right into some of the content here. So this is the first of how they met, how the 25-year-old Erika Kirk strikes up this relationship with a 15-year-old in Michigan. Now, there's a fact that comes out in here that I was not aware of. I knew that Erika Kirk had lived in Puerto Rico. I knew that Erika Kirk had lived in China. I think there was a Croatian element at one point. I know she'd lived in New York. I know she'd lived in Cincinnati. I knew she'd lived in Scottsdale. I was unaware that she had ever lived in Michigan. That was something, part of her bio, that had gotten past me. But apparently when she was 25 years old, she was dating a basketball player in Michigan. And I guess had moved there, or at least was there quite a lot, to strike up this relationship with a, at the time, 15-year-old.
This woman. Back in 2013, Erika was 25 years old, and she was in a relationship with a basketball player named Joshua Harrelson. So at the time, he was living in Michigan, and Erika moved out there to be with him. On the evening of September 15th, 2013, Joshua Harrelson and Erika met a 15-year-old girl named Jillian Falcon. And I know this because Jillian tweeted about it. At 3:53 p.m., Jillian tweeted that she was out for sushi with her friend, and 2 hours later, she tweeted, "Just met Miss Arizona and Josh Harrelson, heart eyes emoji." Now,
so that's the beginning of it. That's the beginning of their relationship. What we don't know is the circumstances that caused them to meet. And as the host here says, and she does a great job of it, but the host says, apparently there was some connection between where Erika was living and, I'm getting a lot of people saying slow it down. So I'm going to slow it down. I had it on 1.5 because there are several clips, but I'll just play normal speed. I don't care. apparently there was some connection between a friend and a house that was being leased and all that, but I don't know if that was how they met or not. But somehow they meet. And if you're a 25-year-old and you meet a 15-year-old, it should end there. Hey, enjoyed eating hot dogs and pizza with you, or enjoyed eating chicken wings with you, or enjoyed eating Chinese food with you. And that should be the end of the conversation. But in this case, it wasn't. It takes a very weird turn here. And so I will let her pick back up and tell you just how weird this turn gets.
Before I share the information that I found, I need to make sure that I say this. Do not bother Jillian. Do not message her. Do not leave comments on her social media. Leave her alone. I'm not doing this video to cause any trouble for Jillian, so please do not reach out to her. She's a grown woman now, but at the time she was 15 when she met Erika. And the reason that I'm doing this video is because, in my opinion, Erika's behavior was predatory and it needs to be exposed. Jillian was just a child at the time. She was a teenage girl. Please don't bother her, okay?
Leave her alone.
Okay, so I agree with this, by the way. And this is something I say a lot when we cover things on this program. Let people do research in the background, but try to avoid the bombardment of these people. Try to avoid contacting people. Try to avoid reaching out to them. Please don't ever go to someone's house. Don't ever knock on their door. Don't ever ring their doorbell. Don't ever confront them in public. Don't follow their cars. Don't mail stuff to their house. This is not the way to conduct a crowdsourced investigation. The crowdsourced investigation is best done when we are all looking at publicly available information. There's plenty of publicly available information. Now, I preface that by saying, she did talk to this person, but here's the difference. Here's the key distinction that people often miss. Once the story breaks, you can't contact that person anymore. It's a key distinction. She contacted her after the information was discovered, but before the story broke. Once the story breaks, it's too late to contact the person. So that's critical to me. And it's something that I preach on this program often. You know, we talk about TPUSA employees. Don't contact them. Don't contact them. Now, if you uncover something weird on Twitter or Facebook and no one else has covered it, and you want to reach out to that person and say, hey, I'm looking at this. Do you want to comment on this? Because I think I'm going to go forward with it. That's different. Once it's broken into the public, it's too late. It's just too late at that point to start contacting the person, because I use the rule of 10,000. If you're contacting that person, 9,999 other people are contacting that person, and that's not appropriate. That's not how we do it. Yes, I stopped this on purpose. This was the famous Perez Hilton, leave Britney alone. All right, so here are the beginnings of the exchanges as described by this person in reviewing the public record. These are the first real exchanges after they meet.
Just over a week later, on October 9th, 2013, Jillian tweets, quote, next to Miss Arizona at bar Louie. Jillian then tweeted this, at Erika Frantzve, at Cheyenne Chand. Aw, you're so sweet. Cheyenne is Jillian's friend. I believe they were classmates at the time, so they're the same age, just in case you're wondering. Now, 2 days later, Jillian tweeted, at Erika Frantzve, dying because you're so pretty. Someone, presumably Erika, replied, but then deleted the tweet.
Notice the dates. Notice the dates. This was October of 2013. Watch how long this goes on and watch how it develops over time. That this is so these exchanges are so disturbing, particularly in light of the fact of how many of these replies are hidden or deleted. It is so disturbing to me. This is one of the more disturbing stories I've had to cover since you and I have been together. But this is October of 2013. These are some of their very first discussions together. Some of their very first discussions together.
And Jillian replied, at Erika Frantzve, we miss you too.
So go back to that. What do you think the reply was by Erika Kirk right here, Erika Frantzve at the time, if she says dying because you're so pretty, and then there's a deleted post and she says, we miss you too? I'm guessing she's saying, we miss you, or I miss you, or I miss you guys. My question is, why is someone 25 years old saying that to a 15-year-old? Oh, and just wait. It gets so much worse.
Miss you too. On October 26, 2013, Jillian tweeted, at Erika Frantzve, how you enjoying the Michigan weather? Erika replied, however, the reply is not visible because the account is now private. And Jillian replied, at Erika Frantzve, ah, lucky you. Enjoy it while. On November 7th, 2013, Erika tweeted something that I can't see because her account is private, but Jillian replied saying, at Erika Frantzve, I fell in love with the world in you.
I'm assuming that's some sort of famous quote that I'm not familiar with. I fell in love with the world in you. I think I looked that up at one point yesterday. Let me look here. I fell in love with the world in you. I think I looked it up. Noah and the Whale. I fell in love with the world in you. So it's a song lyric. But again, if I'm 25, and you got to keep this in the same sex, even not same sex, but I mean, keep it in the same sex realm. If I'm 25 and I tweet something out and some 15-year-old that I've been communicating with writes me back and says, I fell in love with the world in you, I have to stop communicating with that person entirely. Something has gone terribly awry. Terribly awry. Something's broken in that societal exchange. Just trust me, it gets way worse if you've not seen this story. It gets
She
way
also
worse.
tweeted, don't care if it's Wednesday or not. She'll always be my woman crush. Can I be you at Erika Frantzve?
Again, let's say I've got a picture of myself scantily clad. You'll never catch that on social media because that's not the type of stuff I post. Not that anyone would want to see it anyway. But let's say I'm sitting there with a shirt off and, whatever. And some 15-year-old gets a hold of that picture and tweets that back to me and calls me the crush. At that point, I might even consider blocking that person because I think, nope, I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression of anything that's going on here. I am a grown adult, 7 years, the age of majority. This person won't be able to buy a cigarette for 3 or 4 years. This is a huge life difference. Now, we got to jump forward a little bit here because it starts to spice up a little bit. There's a series of weird texts back and forth, and then we start getting into the realm of the wild and, I don't want to say criminal yet.
On November 18th, 2013, Jillian tweeted, still waiting for that lunch date, kissing face emoji.
Why is Erika deleting the post? Allegedly, this is coming back from Erika, I would guess, because it was tweeted at Erika. This is the top line up here. It was tweeted at Erika. Somebody responded to it, and she says that's perfect. Well, that's weird. What was said in this? Now, I'm leaving open the possibility that it's something Cheyenne Chandy said. Chandy. I'm leaving open that possibility. But the basketball, Erika Frantzve was a basketball player. The fact that it was originally tweeted to Erika Frantzve makes me think that this is something Erika said that was deleted. Apparently, they've got a lunch date scheduled.
At Erika Frantzve, there was a reply on this tweet that was deleted. Then Jillian says, at Cheyenne Chand, at Erika Frantzve, that's perfect. On November 20th, 2013, Jillian tweeted, why am I just finding out it's your birthday? I hope you had a great one at Erika Frantzve. Erika responded to this tweet, however, we can't see the response. Then Jillian tweeted, at Erika Frantzve, that's great, kissy face emoji. On December 18th, 2013, Jillian tweeted, I want to just curl up in a ball and cry because of how perfect at Erika Frantzve is, heart eyes emoji.
And look at the response. Now, we can't see this. It hasn't been deleted. To Erika's credit, it's not been deleted, but it is private, so only Erika's approved followers can see it. And I believe this is a dormant account. I'm not sure about that. But then she says, you too, love. So something, there was some response about curling up in a ball and crying because of how perfect Erika is, that drew her a response out of her. And then the reply to the response was, "You too, love." Again, nothing overtly criminal, nothing too wild at this point. Just sit tight. You're not going to need your whole chair in a minute. You're just going to need the front edge of it.
Erika's response is private, and then Jillian responds, "You too, love." On January 6th, Erika made a post that is currently private, and Jillian responded, at Erika Frantzve, "Gorgeous, love," heart eyes emoji, kissy face emoji. On January 22nd, 2014, Jillian tweeted a bunch of messages that I believe were her gushing over Erika. Then at 10:30 p.m., so pretty late at night, she tweets, at Erika Frantzve is the best.
Again, go through the order there of these. This is all January 22nd, 2014. January 22nd, 2014. This is months after they've been acquainted. There's a whole series of a series of messages.
Believe were her gushing over Erika. Then at 10.
And then that night, Erika Frantzve is the best. Leading me, this host, and probably many others to believe that's potentially a response to Erika Kirk being present with her. "Thank you for being here when I need to most. You're beautiful. You're so perfect. Perfection." Erika Frantzve is the best. That leads me to believe there was some sort of either physical presence or maybe a telephone presence or something else. But it somehow gets disastrously worse.
She tweets, at Erika Frantzve is the best. The next morning, she tweets, at Erika Frantzve, "One day I am going to wake up, roll over on my side, and kiss the love of my life. Good morning."
At that point, it is indisputable the relationship has taken a weird turn, and a 25-year-old should read this and immediately leave. Now, up until this point, that you could have some image in your mind where this is just normal. This is how girls talk. I have girls. I have teenage girls. I have a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old girl. I know that they discuss, talk like this. I know that they say, "I love you and you're so beautiful," and all that. But I don't believe they've ever gushed all night and then said, "Thank you for being here when I needed you the most," and then at 10:30 at night and then at 8 o'clock the next morning indicate that perhaps they wanted the night to continue and to be able to roll over and kiss you in the morning. I will say this. If my 16-year-old girl was having this type of conversation with a 25-year-old woman, I would be having a conversation also with that 25-year-old woman, and it probably wouldn't go the way she wanted it to. It probably would go very, very poorly. Oh, you think that's the smoking gun? Stand by. Hold, please. It gets infinitely worse, amigos. Infinitely worse. Here is a post that we're unable to see because it's probably from Erika's account and only her friends can see it. This woman says, "Gorgeous as always." This is, in just a moment, you're going to get the most overtly wild text yet. Like, everything to this point has some sort of a reasonable explanation. Even how hard it is to believe, you could at least sort of make some kind of comment, at least on an isolated basis. We leave that realm now.
2014, Jillian replied to one of Erika's tweets by saying, at Erika Frantzve, "Gorgeous as always." A few hours later, she then tweeted, "Why did at Erika Frantzve just send me this?" Laughing emojis. And there is a photo which says, "This Valentine's Day, I am going to touch your butt."
That is, Erika allegedly sent that to Jill Falcone at 15 years old. This is the day before Valentine's Day. She wants to touch her butt. Again, on an isolated basis, perhaps you could say, "Oh, she's just joking." But when you take it in context, it's hard to believe that she's just joking, in my opinion. We're going to leave the realm of just joking here entirely in moments, and we will forever not be able to say she's just joking. I will let Miss Nissy Social, line this one up.
14. So Erika says, let me call you. Hold on, sweetheart. Give me a sex. Wow. And then Jillian says, okay, and puts laughing emojis. Erika then says, sex too, but not from you. LOL. Holy shit, laughing emoji. You always make me laugh. I don't bat for the other team just yet.
Not yet. Not yet. I might bat for the other team in the future. But not yet. Now, I will say that the X and C are right next to each other on the keyboard. If you're on a standard American keyboard. Now, you Swedeners, you Balkans, I don't know what kind of keyboard you guys use down under, but you people in other countries may not quite understand that reality. But our X and C on a standard American keyboard, a QWERTY keyboard as it were called, QWERTY, a QWERTY keyboard, the X and C are right next to each other. Now, that could raise the possibility that she made a mistake. I am curious if that's a typo. Or if this is the type of behavior that adults use to condition. I'm not going to use the GR room word. But is this the type of conversation? Again, this wasn't public. This was a text message between Erika Frantzve, allegedly between Erika Frantzve and Jill Falcone. I've not verified the phone number and all that. I'm just believing what's being said here. But taking it at face value, this is a text message between a woman in her mid-20s and a 15-year-old. Let me call you. Hold on, sweetheart. Give me a sex. Sex too, but not from you. I don't bat for the other team just yet. This seems to me like conditioning. We will use that instead of the word that rhymes with fluming. Conditioning. This seems to me to be strong evidence of conditioning behavior. Unless you think this is the bulk of it. Oh, contrario, amigos. It gets so much worse.
13th, 2014, Jillian shared another screenshot of her text messages with Erika. Erika says, I forgot to tell you, hydrate tonight. No alcohol and don't eat a lot of salty foods. You don't want to look bloated.
Now, this is something Miss Nissy Social does not address, but what are they doing the next day that Erika doesn't want the 15-year-old to look bloated? That's never explained in this video. If it is, I missed it. I've watched this video 3 times now. That's never explained in the video. What is it that they have planned tomorrow that you don't want to look bloated? You don't want her to drink alcohol. You don't want her to eat a lot of salty foods. You don't want her to look bloated. No alcohol? Really, Erika?
Jillian then responds, thank you. Erika says, no alcohol. Really, Erika? Age recognition, you twat waffle. Apparently, I haven't had my coffee yet.
It's 12:20 p.m. It's 12:20 p.m. What are they doing? 12:20 p.m. and she hasn't had her coffee yet, and she's so confused that she's telling her not to drink alcohol. Is the fact that you have to pick her up because she can't drive? Does that not, whatever it is you guys are doing?
What the hell, Erika? Laughing emoji. Well, on that bite, ... note, damn.
That's another mistake I don't think was an accident. Well, on that bite. I don't think it was an accident. Now, maybe, the B and N are close to each other. The I and the O are close to each other on the QWERTY keyboard. It's possible. But to me, that's just dropping little things in there, little seeds that are being planted all along the way. I want to touch your butt. Give me a sex. I don't bat for the other team just yet. On that bite, this all seems to me like conditioning. like conditioning. And then she blames
You,
Siri.
Siri. Come on. Hashtag the struggle. What are you trying to say, laughing emoji? Spit it out, you twat waffle.
Now, she's already corrected herself. So if the 15-year-old is saying, what are you trying to say? Spit it out. She's wanting more. She's wanting to hear more. Go on, spell it out for me. Say I know what you're trying to say. You know what you're trying to say. Just say it.
How on earth could she?
Now, let me fast forward to the next series here.
Back to Jillian. On the morning of March 26, 2014, Jillian tweeted, I just want to be somebody's woman crush Wednesday. Is that too much to ask? That evening, she then tweets, thank you at Erika Frantzve for making my whole week, and she shared.
Do you see what's on the wall on the screen? Are you looking at it?
There's this photo, and the photo is of a gnome, and it says, I want to be inside your lady garden. Know what I'm saying?
The indication here is that Erika Frantzve sent this to her. You just made my week, Erika. I want to be inside your lady garden. Know what I'm saying? Now, I'm only 46. I've only had 8 children. I'm familiar with the lady garden. I know what they're called. I know what they are. And I know what it means to be inside one. This is October, November, December, January, February, March, 6 months after they met. There's a clear escalation going on here. There's a very clear escalation taking place. We've gone out of the realm of, oops, I didn't mean to say that. Ha ha, so silly. I so apologize for saying that. Oh, I didn't. Stupid Siri. We've left that realm. And Jill says, thank you for making my whole week, and then posts it. In other words, suggesting Erika at 25, 26 years old sent this to her 6 months after they met. But it gets even weirder and darker here. I'm going to show you where we kick it up a notch on the weirdness, darkness scale here.
Just in case you're wondering. Now, on April 3rd, 2014, Jillian tweeted this picture and said, I miss this goon.
So this is Jillian with a boy looking, I mean, that's close. You know, I wouldn't take that picture with some rando. That indicates some sort of affection that this Jillian girl has for this young man. This is a week afterwards. I miss this goon. Watch Erika's response.
A few minutes later, she tweeted, did Erika just text me hashtag no new friends? Oh my fucking God, I can't.
That is, to me, the signal of what's going on here. This is the realm. This is the, you can't come back from this one, because it was a few minutes later that she tweeted it, meaning she's monitoring what this girl's doing online. She's getting notifications. She's aware of what's happening. A week before, she said, I want to be inside your lady garden. Know what I'm saying? Then she posts a picture of a boy. I miss this boy. And Erika says, no new friends. This is classic conditioning behavior, classic conditioning from Miss Fratnzve. Now, I can't say that's what she was doing, but it appears that was what she's doing. She is bombing her with affection. She's bombing her with attention. She's bombing her with how pretty she is. She's bombing her with how gorgeous she is. That part even gets weirder here in just a minute. And then she says, no more of that. No new people. Only me. Only me.
Days later, on April 5th, 2014, Jillian posted this tweet, "Getting this in the mail from Erika Frantzve." And in the photo is a red box of chocolate-covered strawberries and other chocolate desserts. Now,
She got that in the mail the next day or 2 days later. So the April 3rd was this no new friends. I'm being territorial. And then she sends a gift you only send to your boyfriend, girlfriend, or wife or husband. This is not something you send a 15-year-old, particularly with a card that says the following: "Happy sweet 16, beautiful girl. Keep strong in faith and know that you're loved. But most of all, never forget you are perfect and amazing just the way you are. I am so proud of you. Today's the first day of another 365-day journey around the sun. Enjoy the trip, boo. Love you, E." Again, if you only had this one gift, if you only had this one card, if you just said, "Hey, here's a girl that she found that she was troubled and she just wanted to make her feel good," okay, maybe. But you sent this to someone you said you wanted to touch her butt and be inside her lady garden. Someone you told can't have any new friends. It goes on. Listen to her description of this young girl. This girl is now 16 years old, just turned 16. Erika is 25, 26 years old, 10 years old.
On June 7th, 2014, Jillian shared this tweet. "This has to be the most heartfelt compliment I've ever gotten." And she attached a screenshot of her conversation with Erika. So Jillian says, "Thank you." Erika says, "You have the most stunning features." Jillian says, "Best compliment ever." Erika says, "Your eyes, your lips, your skin, you're absolutely beautiful."
My friends, I just don't have an innocent explanation for that text, that private text from a grown adult to a minor child. Your eyes, your lips, your skin. That's conditioning. The way I look at it, that's conditioning. And I'll say this. I don't know that level of conditioning is innate. I don't think Erika Frantzve, at 26 years old, just came up with this on her own. In other words, it makes more sense to me that this type of interaction with a minor is something she learned. It makes more sense to me. Am I accusing someone of having done this to Erika? Not necessarily. Maybe. I don't have evidence of it. But I'm looking at these messages over the course of 6 or now 7 months or more. October to November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, 8 months. I'm looking at these series of messages escalating over 8 months. And again, I ask you, if Charlie Kirk, at 25 or 26 years old, having led TPUSA for 7 or 8 years, had sent these messages to a 15 or 16-year-old, would he have survived? Would he have been able to remain the head of TPUSA? Would he have been forced to step down? I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes. My gut instinct is if a 26-year-old man was the CEO of a company, a nonprofit, a political company, complimenting the eyes, lips, and skin of a minor child, having said, "I want to be inside your lady garden. I want to touch your butt. I'm going to touch your butt." I think it would have been the end of them. A lot of people have disappeared from public life for less than this, or similar to this. A lot of people have just disappeared from public life for similar things to this. A lot of people have been investigated by law enforcement agencies for similar messages to this. 2 more clips.
So Jillian posted this photo of this.
So this is Jillian on a family vacation, I believe a family vacation in Puerto Rico. She posts this photo. It is a pretty picture. I'm not going to lie. This is beautiful. I mean, this is the type of scene that we all wish we could see. Some of us are lucky enough in life to travel to places like this and be able to see this. Some of us only see pictures like this on other people's social media. But now Miss Erika Kirk, but she was Erika Frantzve at the time, as you can see from the tag here, has this
The
exchange.
beach, and Erika says, "Unreal gorgeous." And then Jillian responds,
So unreal gorgeous could mean unreal. That scene is gorgeous. It could also mean unreal, gorgeous, meaning unreal Jill. Unreal Jill, who I'm nicknaming gorgeous. It could mean either, and we'll get a hint in a second.
"This is by far my favorite picture I took. My mom wants to get it blown up at Erika Frantzve." Erika responds, "I could see why, boo."
Now, maybe girls call each other boo. I was always under the impression that you called people boo when you were in love with them, or if they were a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a spouse. But maybe I'm naive, and that's just how grown women talk to 16-year-olds. But it gets worse.
Jillian responds, "So perfect" at Erika Frantzve. Erika then responds, ... "Yes, I know you are."
The ... is key. You guys all know what the ... means. There's not a person in the audience who doesn't know what the ... means. So perfect ... That is a flirty gesture. That is the equivalent of a woman biting her lip and staring into your eyes. ... That's what the ... means, in my opinion. Yes, I know you are so perfect.
One of the
Okay, so where we go next is this girl's explanation of her experience. So we have the public evidence. We've seen what's out there. We have the text messages this girl provided. We have those were private, were not able to be seen. We have the public, the private text messages. We have the public exchanges on social media. Most of the public exchanges on social media. Some of them were deleted. Some of them were hidden because of their categorization on social media. But we have now an explanation from the girl herself, because there was some concern from people who viewed this that said, oh my gosh, she was being trafficked. She was in Puerto Rico. She was right there next to Einstein Island down there. No. She made it clear that was a family trip. She wasn't being trafficked. She was safe the whole time she was down there. And then she goes on to describe that at the time, she didn't think there was really much to this, which is, frankly, even more disturbing, because it means that we from the outside could look at these messages and all draw what I think is a pretty reasonable conclusion. We can all come to a pretty reasonable opinion that this is wild. This has no place in public life. This has no place in society. Grown adults cannot talk to 15 and 16-year-olds this way, period. End of story. It's not appropriate. It has to stop. The people who do this need to be removed from polite society. They need to not be the heads of public organizations. But to be fair, I want you guys to hear the girl's side of it, because I think it would be totally inappropriate for me to play all that and then not hear from her when we know what she says about it. Here's what she says about
And
it.
I just want to say for the record that Jillian says that she wasn't trafficked. There was people online who were concerned because Jillian was in Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico was very close to Epstein Island. So people are wondering, is there something that was happening there? Jillian says that she wasn't trafficked, okay? Jillian said that she looked up to Erika because she was so beautiful. She was Miss Arizona. She was giving her all of this attention. And Erika felt like a big sister. And these compliments that Erika was giving her felt very validating, and it boosted her self-esteem.
That is the key. It was validating. It boosted her self-esteem. Someone conditioning a minor would know that that is going to be the result of that type of language. Someone trying to condition a minor. Now, I'm not saying that's what she was doing, but I'm saying the evidence can lead to that reasonable opinion. It's not an unreasonable opinion to come to. And I think it's not only is it reasonable, it's a common response when you're reading this in this context. When you look at the sum total of this 6, 7, 8 month exchange between these two, you watch it escalate. You watch it start with, oh, you're so pretty. No, you're so pretty. Oh, you're so pretty. No, you're so pretty. That's pretty normal teenage talk. Not very normal between a 25-year-old and a teenager, but whatever. I will add one thing to it after we get to the end of it. I'll add one piece of commentary to why she may be taking this approach.
And Jillian hasn't spoken to her in over 10 years. She hasn't really thought about it all that much. Like, it's out of sight, out of mind. So she never looked back at this whole friendship she had with Erika as being weird or inappropriate. She never saw it that way.
So she never saw it that way. She never saw it as weird or inappropriate. Here, let me tell you why that might be. Oh, goodness. There we go. Sorry. Didn't mean to do that. A couple of things. One, she might truly have come to the conclusion that there was nothing weird or inappropriate about it. Two, she might be terrified. She might be scared to death. She might wish this had never been discovered. It hadn't been discovered for 10 years because, frankly, most people never heard of Erika Kirk. Three, that might be why they stopped talking. Because at the time, she didn't get the hint. Erika may have, and this is an opinion, this is not fact, I'm not saying this is what she was doing, but she may have been escalating it, pushing, and when the young girl never gave in, she moved on. That, to me, is a reasonable conclusion of what might have happened. I think it's one of those three things. I can't think of a fourth one where I can come to the conclusion that this is somehow normal conversation between an adult and a teenager. I have trouble coming to that conclusion. I'm not telling you guys what to conclude. I'm not telling you to not come to that conclusion. I'm not telling you to believe something completely and entirely different about it. But we know for a fact, let's just put this in the context of the big news of the last couple of weeks with all the emails and files that have been released. We know for a fact that there are people, monsters in this world who prey on minors. We know that. We know that for a fact. We know, for example, that they have women who recruit to those groups. We've learned that. We've heard that as a fact. We've heard from some of the recruiters who've admitted, yeah, that's what we were doing. Does that mean, without a doubt, that Erika Frantzve was 100% trying to recruit somebody to some sort of criminal organization? No. But it doesn't mean it's not true. It gets back to the old saying, how I look at a lot of this stuff. I'm not saying TPUSA is some sort of criminal organization, but if it was a criminal organization, it would look precisely how it's structured today. They would be doing the things they're doing today. I'm not saying she's not a grieving widow, but if she wasn't a grieving widow, she would be doing precisely what she's doing today. I'll say this. Ghislaine Maxwell's sitting in prison for kind of doing this kind of stuff. conditioning minors to join in with adults. Kind of wild. Kind of wild. Speaking of wild, I want to transition ever so slightly here. I want to play I referenced in the opening, Erika's podcast, the Midweek Rise Up. I'm going to play it on mute because it's got a bed of music and I don't know if it's copyrighted, and I don't want this whole podcast getting taken down on a copyright strike because they don't like what I'm saying about them and they're looking for any excuse to be able to pull this down. So I'm going to play on mute, and the words are written on the screen. So I'll just read it as it goes. Let me speed it at the right speed where I feel like I can do it in the right time. I'm going to play a couple of minutes of Erika Kirk's last podcast. It was put up on YouTube on September 9th. This is the day before the Big Bang in Orem, Utah. And I want you to listen to what it seems to me she's conditioning. More conditioning. I want you to see if you see what I see. This is about a minute into it. I got the intro out of the way. I'm getting right to the heart of it. We're just going to do a couple of minutes of it. This is her saying that she's heard an old expression. She doesn't know who to attribute it to. And it says, preach the gospel at all times. Use words if necessary. And now there's a debate about who said that and whether it's been overused, but there's still wisdom in that idea because the people around you, your children, your coworkers, your neighbors, even your critics are watching something far more powerful. I think I sped it up, not slowed it down. Yeah. Something far more powerful than your declarations. They're watching your reactions. They're watching how you respond when things don't go your way. Did something not go her way the following day? Did Erika Kirk experience something the day after this was put up where things didn't go her way and where people would be watching her reactions, watching how she responds, how you treat people who can't give anything back to you, and how you navigate tension, how you navigate forgiveness of offenses? Was there any forgiveness of offenses that Erika Kirk famously gave that occurred the day after this was posted? Do you remember when she took to the stage of the memorial and said, that young man who did this, I forgive him? Basically convicting the guy? Basically saying he did it? Why would she be talking about this? This is weird. And carry burdens that no one else sees. What burdens was she forced to carry? And the truth is, your life is always preaching something. The only question is, what story is it telling? You know, my husband is on college campuses. This is interesting because she's setting up the tension. She's setting up why it is what he did was so dangerous. Getting screamed at by college kids. I've never seen anyone really scream at him much. I mean, I've seen a couple clips here and there, but this isn't like all day, every day he was screaming, getting screamed at. As he's trying to share with them the truth, and he is so calm. Would I be calm? Ooh, is she going to be calm if we put her through the type of tests that Charlie faced? Would she be calm? No, I wouldn't. She's telling you right now, stop. She's showing you why she gets the crazy face. She wouldn't be calm. I barely go to those only because I don't trust myself. Now she's giving an explanation for why she wasn't there. I don't go to those because I can't be calm. I don't trust myself. No, not climbing over the table and like attacking someone in the crowd because I'm very protective of my husband. Huh? What? I'll be honest. This weirded me out. This was posted the day before he passed away at a college event that she wasn't at. But he is, so it is the Holy Spirit. He is so calm, and that's a form of what I said earlier. What she's saying is he's calm because of the Holy Spirit. I wouldn't be calm. Erika Kirk, wouldn't be calm. Is that an admission you don't have the Holy Spirit, lady? He is so calm, and that's a form of what I said earlier. Preach the gospel at all times. Use words if necessary. That's the last podcast she ever did on her midweek Rise Up podcast. I'll also note that the podcast was dormant for about 9 months. And it just happened to get going again right about the time that she would need to lay some sort of groundwork to be seen as capable of taking over that organization. Which is just bananas, by the way. I want to show you a post that was put up. Now, I have the permission from the person who found this to go forward with it. This is not me stealing the credit. I don't know if this person wants credit or not, because not everybody wants to be known. But this is one of our dear listeners who I have seen roll through the chat. So I know this person is listening. If this person wants credit, by all means, jump in the chat and say, I found that. I gave it to him. Let's go with it. But I don't want to, some people don't want to be seen as participating or whatever. They just want to be in the background. So I don't want to out somebody who doesn't want to be outed. But we've talked about the fact that the Daily Liar crew is posting under Candace Owens' old. Okay, yeah, this is Whitney Murphy. She just said go for it, Baron. So that's Whitney Murphy right there is the one that found this. We've talked about the fact that the Daily Liar crew is posting under Candace Owens' old account. Under her old Candace Owens pod account. Because I guess they still own it or still have the credentials to it, one or the other. I want to show you what happens when you play this. This is purportedly just a joking around, making fun of Candace. But let's pause it every so often, and let's figure out if we can tell what message they're trying to send Candace Owens as we play this little ditty they put together. Oh, I hit the play on the wrong screen.
Welcome, friends. This is Cassette 4 of the Introductory Adult Reading Curriculum, Read for All. This cassette will introduce onset letter sounds in context. Are you ready? Let's begin.
What we're looking for is there's a random bunch of phrases that are thrown around, and it purports to be just an ABCs, like teaching people the alphabet. But if you watch it, some of the letters turn red. And it looks very random. But let's just let it play.
A is for architecture. The architecture is delightful.
So if you're playing along at home, go ahead and grab a sheet of paper. I'll do it along with you if I can find a blank sheet of paper. Just put a D down, because the D is the first letter that comes up. So like you, I've put the letter D on my page. Actually, let me grab if I have one. Yeah, I do. I have a Sharpie, so it'll be even easier for you guys to see. So let me put a giant D down here. Giant D. All right, let me put a D down here, and we'll keep playing.
B is for bees. Bees go buzz, buzz.
Notice the O. So let's put an O next to our D. D-O. This is on a Daily Liar account that they have access to that purports to be a random message about.
C is for cease and desist. Hey, stop it. Now.
N. D-O-N. All right, let's keep going.
D is for delegitimize. This debacle has really delegitimatized the work.
So that's a T. D-O-N-T. We've got the word don't so far.
E is for Egypt. The explorer explored the Egyptian plains. F is for French. The French woman is a female.
We got an F. Don't F. Oh, where are we going with that? The F word?
G is for glistened. The frozen ice glistened frozenly as the freezing temperature
Oh, there's a U. Don't F you. Oh, what are we doing here?
dropped to 30 degrees. H is for hooray. Clip clop hooray.
Oh, we got a C. Don't F-U-C.
A.
All right.
I is for Israel. It's good to know what is real
There's the K. All right. Don't F-U-C that letter.
and what is not. J is for juicy. We all know the Jews see details no one else does. K is for no. You know the
Oh, there's a W. Let's see what we're
line,
going to spell.
but I'm not going to say it. L is for literacy. Reading is literacy, and literacy is understanding, and understanding is M. M is for macabre. The burr reel was quite burr. N is for no. That's a no-no, kid. O is for
All right.
officer. The
So
special
we have 3 words so far. I don't know if you're keeping along at home, but this is what the Daily Liar is spelling so far. Let's keep going and see where it heads from
forces
here.
officer is a green beret. P is for puzzle. Everything can be a
There's a T.
puzzle, even if it isn't. Q is for questions. Just asking questions
There's an I.
is a clever way to make implications. R is for red yarn. Red yarn for miles.
There's an N.
S is for sleep pictures. While you sleep, mind movies give you secrets.
There's a Y.
T is for thumb. The thumbtacks hold the red yarn in place. U is for unsubstantiated. An unsubstantiated claim can be solved by a hunch, vibe, or instinct.
There's an H.
V is for victim. It's never too late to play the victim.
There's an O.
W is for wine moms. Wine moms love true crime podcasts.
There's an R.
X is for Twitter. X is what some people call Twitter.
There's an F.
Y is for yay. Even Yay apologized.
There's an E.
Z is for zoinks. When Shaggy and Scooby are trying to solve a case,
There's
they
an S.
sometimes say zoinks.
So that is what this spells. Don't blank with tiny horses. Don't blank with tiny horses. I think it's a threat. I can't see that any other way. You tell me how that's not a threat. You tell me how using Candace Owens' account on the Daily Wire credentialed X feed to say, don't blank with tiny horses. Well, like if I said, don't blank with me, don't F with me, that would be a threat. Like if you attacked me and I said, don't F with me, that would be a threat. We all know what the midget horse has had to endure. We all know how much the midget horse has had to withstand public scrutiny. And ultimately, we know who the midget horse truly is. Yes. It was blank you and the midget horse you rode in on. But we know who the midget horse really was. It wasn't a horse at all. It was the guy purportedly riding on the horse. It was metaphorical. You can't hold anything against small horses. No, you hold things against human beings. That to me is an unbelievable post. They're out of control. They're absolutely out of control. So what have we learned today? Well, we've learned that Erika Frantzve's career looked in its totality, looks a lot like a sheep dip. She has basically never succeeded at anything. She's never had any kind of really successful enterprise. She's the child of people in the intelligence and defense industries. She somehow ended up in TPUSA or in Charlie Kirk's life when it didn't really make any sense for her to do that. I mean, you don't study for the real estate course in a day or a week. I mean, it's a months-long process. There's a lot of material. I know people who have done this. My good friend in Alabama used to teach these courses. He tried for years to get me to take it. It's a months-long process. You either show up at night by yourself, or with other people. Maybe you do an online curriculum. I don't know if they had that back in 2018. But it takes a long time. So when she goes to interview with TPUSA in Phoenix, Arizona, she's actually studying for her real estate license, a test she will then take in October and pass, presumably. Not unusual for people to struggle with it. It's just hard. It's hard. It's a lot of information. It's very complex, very technical, very detailed, a lot of law. And if you're not accustomed to thinking that way, you might get tripped up a few times. Right? You might take it the second time, third or fourth time. It's not unusual. Happens. But while she's going through this process, she thinks, well, I know I'm studying to be a lucrative real estate agent in New York City, but maybe I'll go jump over here. There's this nonprofit that makes about $10 million a year in revenue. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. I lived there. I grew up there. Maybe I'll just pop over there for a little while and interview. Why? We know she had this Bible in a Year podcast, this clothing line, but there's no evidence there was any success to it. She had this podcast, but there's no evidence there's actually evidence it wasn't successful. No way she was surviving on 1,400 views a week. That's just, you can't live on that. And she has this modeling career, but there's no pictures of her modeling. Has anybody seen a huge portfolio where Erika Kirk was doing all this crazy modeling? No, I've seen one picture that's allegedly her modeling. She had this pageant career, but that doesn't pay anything. She had this acting career, but I've never really seen anything. I saw one music video. I saw a movie that she allegedly was going to make at Fort Huachuca, of all places, that didn't even get released. She was a guest appearance on 1 or 2 episodes of this show called Summer House that I've never heard of. And she was only a guest appearance because she was living in the Hamptons with her friend while her friend was filming it. That's a wild story, too. Need to go into that one day. None of it makes sense. There's no, she didn't sell anything. I found 3 transactions Erika Kirk allegedly was involved in New York real estate. If there was more, I haven't seen them. And I reached out hey, send me your transactions. If you have any evidence of her in a transaction, let me know. And then the everyday heroes like you that operated this Romanian orphanage, go look at their 990s. She wasn't living on that. That wasn't paying enough to support her. So what the hell is going on with her life? What is she doing? Is she delivering pizzas on this? I'm not knocking people who deliver pizzas. You can make a lot of money doing that, but she's doing something to make money. She's doing something. What is she doing? And if you come to the conclusion, no, she's not doing anything else, because when you look at her social media feed, she's going out, she's living a lavish lifestyle, they're going out drinking, they're going out partying, she's living in the Hamptons for the summer. What was she doing? What was she doing? It raises the issue. Was she sheep dipped? Was she being conditioned for a different life? And she just had to go through and collect some experiences to get some credibility before the right opportunity to insert herself arose. And that right opportunity arose in Charlie Kirk's enterprise. And if that's true, then what was the marriage? Was it real? I mean, real in the sense that they walked down the aisle, real in the sense that they signed a marriage license, real in the sense that they legally were married, but you know the difference. Was it operating more like an arranged marriage on her account, even if Charlie didn't have the same feeling about it? And so I think reasonable minds can evaluate it and come to different conclusions. And then we learned, while she's gathering this random experience, apparently she lived in a state I didn't know about. She lived in Michigan at some point. I was unaware. She was dating a professional basketball player. I think he played for the Detroit Pistons. And then later she dated a professional baseball player. I just look at all of this and think, what was she really doing? What was she really doing? Because as she's dating the basketball player and as she's coming of age and allegedly gathering these experiences, running this nonprofit that doesn't really make any money and doing the streetwear and the apparel company or the real, not making really any money at any of it from what I can tell. She's carrying on with at least one underage person that we now know of in a very weird fashion. A very bizarre set of exchanges, both publicly and privately. And I look at that and I think, that strikes me as the type of behavior one would learn from somebody. That strikes me as, they say abused kids sometimes go on to be abusing adults, abusers. And the reason is because that's kind of how their brain gets wired. They know that's what they know is normal. If that cycle doesn't get broken, sometimes it goes on to the next generation. I wonder, is Erika's interaction, it's just my opinion, is Erika's interaction with that young girl the result of how she was treated? Did she have those experiences? I just wonder. I look around on these things at Erika, and I wonder. I'm going to start with the grumblers tonight because you guys are always so patient with me over there, as I forget you sometimes. Conditioning is conditioning, ... I would have known at 25 not to converse with a 15-year-old child to that extent. Plain common sense tells us not to do so. Where was her discernment? 100% gone. Well, that very much is the problem. That very much is the problem, as I see it. Check email about hoodie badges. Oh, okay. Have you ever read Jonathan Cahn? Oh, I answered this earlier. No, I've not read it. So I don't have any thoughts, good or bad. I've not read that book, and I've never looked into the Stonewall riots in Greenwich Village in 1969. First I've heard of them. Sorry to disappoint you. Well, I don't think my super went through. Check your email for men. Oh, it did. It did. I saw it. Made some hoodies if you want to be less boring. Did you just call me boring? Ma'am, it's a high IQ outfit over here. We're having a good time. Don't make me get to the bottom of it, because I will. Let me see here. Boring. Less boring. You want me to get less boring? This is how I'm gonna. This is what I'm doing after the show. I'm not going to watch the Seagulls and the Boston Pilgrims. I'm gonna read Introduction to Logic so I can be less boring. Because everybody knows a good logician is anything but boring, man. That's right. We're gonna get to the bottom of this one way or the other. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. You guys obviously deserve better than a boring program. Barrett, have you heard Dank's theory? TPUSA building a surveillance state. If so, what are your thoughts? I have. I do like Danks. I think he's becoming quite a good broadcaster. You know who else is becoming a good broadcaster? I really enjoyed Real Bays the other day. He went crazy on the air. That's where he shines. He went nuts. Real Bays has done a good job. Gosh, there's so many good podcasters coming up right now. Danks is doing great work. What are my thoughts on his theory? I see why he's saying that. I don't have independent verification that he's actually 100% correct, but I see what he's saying. I know I'm open. I'm open to it. Great job on Jimmy Dore. Thank you, man. Jimmy's a pro. Jimmy's so good. To give you an idea of the amount of prep we put into that appearance, I log in. I sit there for like 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, apparently we're not going to sound check or anything. They come on and they're like, okay, we're going to go live in about 30 seconds. Can you count to 10 so we can get the sound right? I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, okay, we're good. Let's go. You ready? All right, we're live. Like, wow. What are we talking about? But I didn't need to know any more than that because he's a pro. He just handled it so well. I love Jimmy Dore. Baron, I would love to hear your thoughts on what really happened to Marilyn Monroe. There's a 13-year-old video on YouTube about Nicki Minaj being in Mortal Kombat. Seemed interesting with her recent appearances. I love everything you're doing, my good sir. Go back. I've not seen that video. I'd like to see that video. I will pull up a window now and remind myself to look for it. Nicki Minaj in Mortal Kombat. Okay. I will find that. My thoughts on what happened to Marilyn Monroe. I mean, the same thing that happened with other women who flew too close to the sun. Sometimes your wings burn off and you fall down to the earth. I think what's happened, man. Don't mess with presidents. I mean, look at all the dead men around Obama. I shouldn't have said that. I do apologize. Just my opinion, sir. Just my opinion, Mr. 44. Just my opinion. I wouldn't think you'd do that to a cook. Thanks for Make America Great Again 2024, making 2014 my day. Here's Shah 2911 to you and your family. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate it, Alpaca Renee. You're a great commenter. I just assume you've been having a few too many Super Bowl cocktails. Having trouble working the old thumbs. The NFL's rigged anyway. Agreed. They're incorporated as an entertainment industry, not a sports league. Agreed. Which means they're allowed to fix games. I don't know if that's true necessarily because of the amount of gambling, but we could see. I maybe. But I agree that I've seen enough of the NFL to know that it's not real. It's not real. It's just a step, in my opinion, just a step up from WWE. Just a step up from WWE. Hi, Baron. Love your channel. Have you seen the video where Erika and Charlie are talking about how their OBGYN died suddenly and tragically? I have not. I've heard people tell me that, and I've just never bothered to look it up. That's sad, though. And it's even sadder if it was related to any improprieties. That'd be weird. What's your view on the pandemic being discussed by Gates and Einstein in 2015? I guessed white hoodie. Yay. You were correct. Yeah, I think there was so much discussion of it, even from Fauci, who said the next president's going to have to deal with this. I want to say Obama said the next president's going to have to deal with it. Like, I think they were trying. I give you. I'll get it out, ladies and gentlemen. I gave you my thoughts on this during an opening not terribly long ago, I believe. I think it was an opening where I talked about the SARS, MERS, Zika, SARS-CoV-2, like the succession and what they had to get in place. Oh, it was the Elizabeth Holmes opening. Elizabeth Holmes opening. You know her, that Sonny Balwani is gotten out of prison? Or he's furloughed She hadn't been furloughed, but he got furloughed. What's that tell you? Since Erika wants transparency for the trial, isn't it an issue that the SUV is destroyed and cannot be used for evidence? Shouldn't that be inside of a Sally port being held? Isn't this a red flag? It's a huge red flag. Huge red flag. What if the defense wanted to review it? What if they wanted to look at it? What if they wanted to inspect it? It's a huge red flag. I'm so happy you saw this video of Erika. I posted it like crazy on your X last night and prayed you would see it. Thank you so much for doing this story. People need to see who she really was. Well, I don't know if it was you who did it, but someone tagged me in it, and that's how I saw it. You and 212 other people. A lot of people tagged me in that. And at first, honestly, I watched it the first time. I thought, Then I watched it again. I thought, ugh. And I said, well, let me watch it one more time and throw some good timestamps in there and see if I want to go forward with it. When I slowed it down and actually had to put the timestamps in and write my notes out beside it, and I saw the development on paper, I thought, oh gosh, this is horrible. Like, I don't see how she could survive that. I honestly don't see how she could survive that. And if she does, it's awfully telling about how the fix is in. Honestly, that's the way I look at it, in my opinion. I look at that as evidence the fix is in, because I don't see how you can see that any other way. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Baron, please play a clip of Hunter K. practicing his reaction. Look closely at Blake Neff. He's given a necklace. Hold, please. I'm not going to play it during the show because I haven't screened it, and they're real weird about that stuff. But I'll look at it afterwards. Video of Hunter Kozak practicing. Why can't I spell his name? Okay. So I got that in my notes now. Am I in Kick yet? No, but I plan to be. If for no other reason than they were a sponsor of Sauber last year. How can I not be on Kick after that? I didn't even know what Kick was. I didn't know they sponsored it. Speaking of, I think Cadillac is releasing their Formula One car tonight. I'm looking forward to that more than the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from fellow Goyames. I have to say that differently because YouTube's weird about people saying that. Baron Stream's better than the Super Bowl. No question. No question. No question. Nobody wants to see the Seagulls. Nobody wants to see the Pilgrims. Super Bowl, Schmooper Bowl. Who needs football when Baron's on? Thank you for all you do. I agree. You made me cry. You've made me very Catholic curious. What's a good way for someone to start learning Catholicism who has no religious background? Go back. No religious background. See, normally I refer people to Rome Sweet Home because in America we have some sort of most people have some sort of a Protestant background at the very least. No religious background whatsoever. Gosh. Honestly, this is going to sound weird. I do not recommend this to many people, but if you have no religious background, this book actually does help lay the foundation for the fact that there's a God first. And then it goes on to explain why that matters. Then it goes on to explain the role of Jesus in the salvation. And then it goes on to explain salvation history. Then it goes on to explain the role of Jesus in salvation history. The Catechism of the Catholic Church. I have a copy in here. I do, but I don't know where it is. I would buy the book. It's like $10 on Amazon or less. I would buy the book, paper copy, hard copy, rather than trying to read it online because the index is so good. You go to the index, you can look up any topic. It'll give you paragraphs, go right to it. So that's how I would do that. And I would just start reading it because it opens with in the beginning. I mean, Genesis does too, but it gives a theological underpinning for what all of that stuff means. And it's very good. So I don't recommend that as a starting point for very many people, but if you have no religious background whatsoever, then that's where I would start, honestly. And go Max indeed. We should all go support and watch TPUSA's special halftime show. That's what Erika and AK would want people. I'm not watching that. No way am I giving them a view. I'm also not watching what's his name called? Bad Baby? Whatever his name is. I'm not watching Bad Baby either. I'm not watching any of that stuff. I'm so over being forced to support people I don't want to support. And I don't have to. I'm at the age of my life where I don't feel like I have to be involved in the cultural conversation. I'll say this. There have been a couple of halftime shows I've really enjoyed over the years. I liked Prince's. Frankly, I liked Kendrick Lamar's because it was different. I liked the Rolling Stones when they had theirs. Gosh, who else? I mean, Michael Jackson's was cool. I was like 10 years old at the time, but it was a good halftime show. So there've been good halftime shows over the years. There've been some I just hated. I think the Dr. Dre one was stupid. I mean, I know everybody just fell back on nostalgia and was like, oh, it's so great. It reminded me of being a teenager. I'm like, yeah, but objectively it was terrible. But it's, I'm not watching Bad Baby or Bad whatever his name is. No way. I wonder if TP's putting their own timeline together so they can get their lives straight. It's so far it's failed. Yeah, it has. This is the biggest problem they've had is they're dishonest people, or at least they've been shown to be dishonest, or at least significantly mistaken. There's a helicopter hovering over my house. If I disappear, ladies and gentlemen, it came from the air. I'm just telling you, it's been going for like 45 seconds now. It is like brrr, right over my house. Someone right now is on ASDB trying to figure out precisely where I live. Where's the helicopter hovering? It's going to be in there somewhere. There's a helicopter in Middle Tennessee somewhere. It's stationary. Where is it? The color is stone to settle the color debate. Paralegal and training here. Admire and appreciate your authenticity and integrity. Any tips for learning in the family law area? Christ is king and Jesus loves you too. Yeah, be vicious, nasty, and mean. That's the only way to win in that area. I kid. You know what makes a good lawyer? Honestly, 20 years ago, I had a different answer. Oh, the ability to find that one case that just proves everybody wrong. Oh, that ability to just make that one argument. That's fine. You know what really makes a good lawyer? You actually care about your clients. Because when you care about somebody, you give a pretty good effort. And even with lawyers of average intellect and average ability, if they care, a lot of times they outwork the pants off of people that don't care, that might be better resourced and have more money and all this stuff. But if I see it on ADSB. There's a helicopter right over my house. Where's it going? Oh, it's a medevac. Oh, man. It's coming from TriStar. That's sad to me. I say a prayer for whoever's on that medevac or whoever's going to be on it when they land, one or the other. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you just care, you're going to do better. I mean, genuinely care. You're going to do better than most people. Most lawyers, they get so bogged down in the paperwork and all that, they just stop caring. And you watch them get jaded over time, and it's sad. Christ is king and Jesus loves you too. Well, thank you, Stacy. Christ is king indeed. And Jesus loves you too. Such a critical reminder at the right time. Thank you. I don't know what you're talking about. Baron Hoodie Color, new UVU concrete pavers. Yes, this is UVU concrete paver stone. That's great. You guys crack me up sometimes. You said on February 2, EK has a sister 19 years older who was emancipated. Could EK be her daughter? Parents kick sister out, raised EK as theirs. Also pray for us. Fifth child, Dunju. Fifth boy. Have I ever told? I don't know if I've told you this. Let me get to that story in a second. I've thought that, and we've discussed it on this program, actually, Skylar. I don't blame you for not listening to absolutely every second, but this is what happens when you don't. You miss stuff that we talk about. We've raised the issue. Other people have raised the issue, and I've commented on it, on whether or not Erika could be Lori's grandchild. I will say that I think the divorce with Lori and Kent, which would be Erika's purported parents, I think that divorce took place very soon after she was born. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about that, which was a little weird. But here's the story I have on the fifth child. So I wasn't expecting my fifth. My wife was expecting our fifth. And I was lobbying at the time. And I was lobbying for I don't want to say who it was, but I was lobbying for a educational group. And I was sitting in the office of kind of a guy who was mentoring me. I was very young. He was kind of teaching me the ways, who to watch out for, who to work with, and all that kind of stuff. How to approach people. I mean, he was just a very helpful man. And And I was sitting in his office one day. He kept his office almost pitch black. He had one little small lamp off to the side. So he was backlit by almost no light. So he's shadowed. He looked like he was in witness protection. And I said, his name was Dr. So-and-so. I don't want to say his name. I said, Dr. So-and-so. I said, you have 5 kids, if I'm not mistaken. He goes, yes, I do. Yes, I have 5 kids. Talk like that. I said, well, do you have any advice? He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, my wife is expecting our 5th. Do you have any advice? He goes, get an abortion. He was obviously not a deep conservative. And I died laughing. He goes, no. He goes, the 5th one's the worst. And I was like, really? He goes, if you can survive the 5th, you can survive nuclear winter. I said, why? He's like, you finally are out. They have more kids than hands. And that made a lot of sense to me. And I found that to be the case. The 5th is the most difficult adjustment because you now have more kids than hands. And typically your 5th is while the rest of your kids are pretty young. If you have 5, probably you're pumping them out pretty quick. So congratulations, Skylar. Best of luck to you and your family. And hoping for a healthy, bubbly, good sleeping, good eating baby boy. Baron, that word, teeing of a child, is at an all-time high during summer Super Bowl. Just breaks my heart. Please pray for them. Super Bowl is evil in more ways than one. Yeah, maybe. I don't know anything about that, the correlation there. I've not looked into it. I'm not doubting it. I just haven't looked into it. Coach Barron, you need to verify CFL level 1 cert, put a Fran time on the record, and get a Boys Interrupted collab on the book. So you can't see it. Hold, please. I have a verified level 1 cert, sir or ma'am. It's right here. It's right here. It's valid. It's valid. When does it expire? I can't tell. 2029. I've got years left on that bad boy. So it's valid. I'm official. So that's one. What else did you say? Put a Fran time on the record? I don't want to advertise my Fran time. It ain't great. I will say this. Thrusters are the death of me. Thrusters, wall balls, anything that goes below parallel and overhead is just a bad combination. I'm not great at pressing either one, lower body press or upper body press. You combine them and I get debacled. Pull-ups are fine. I can rip through 45 pull-ups pretty fast. It's the 45 thrusters that cause the problem. A Boys Interrupted collab. I actually talked to Hiller not too long ago. I'm assuming you know who that is if you know who Boys Interrupted is. I emailed back and forth with Hiller. I'll say that because his name came up on the show and I sent him a screen cap of it and we had a nice little exchange. He's a great guy. So that's all your CrossFit content for tonight. This one's for Charlie. We're avoiding the noise of today's festivities. Our TV will be black during halftime. That's what Charlie would have wanted. Not going to argue with you. First time commenter, super chatter. Love your show. I was inspired to host a conspiracy theory party with the info I've gleaned from you and others about CK's muck duck. Thank you for your great work. Well, thank you. And I hope it was fantastic. Let me know if you learned anything. I'd be happy to amplify what it is you bring to the table. Greetings from SoCal. Wow, thank you. Super Bowl halftime shows a satanic festival. So was the Olympics. Did you see that? Holy mackerel. Oh, the Olympics opening ceremony hails a fiery pentagram. Yeah, that was nuts. I only saw the pictures. Obviously, I don't watch the Olympics. The Winter Olympics especially. Ugh. Am I going to watch curling? Luge? Bobsled? No, friends. I've got better things to do than watch people go like this down a hill. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen at all. But yeah, I saw that, man. I saw pictures of it anyway. What a nutcase. That's the whole thing is nuts. Thank you, Baron, for hosting this God-revering podcast. Christ is King, go Max. God-revering indeed. Christ is King indeed, and go Max. Thank you. Baron, my wife and I have 2 suggestions for the grand jury. 1, the 90s movie JFK is a must-watch. Yes. It's a fantastic movie. I've seen it many times. 2, William Bill Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse book. I've read a podcast. I mean, I listened to a podcast summary of it. It was like 2 hours long. But it was good. These 2 things have a lot of parallel to the Charlie Kirk case, Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Good suggestions, both. A lingering question that's been burning at this point. Get it out. Don't burn. Lord have mercy. What about Charlie's family and their side of it? It's a missing narrative, early childhood until the Big Bang. The perspective would be enlightening. I've done a lot of research on that, young lady, including talking to people from his childhood. I've not been given permission yet to say more than that. No one wants to go on the record or even on background, but I have heard from, or I've reached out to people he knew growing up and talked. I've also looked into and talked to them. Well, I can't say what I talked to them about, but I've looked into his family, and I don't know that there's a ton of weirdness there. I think they're just historically private people, including his sibling and both of his parents. So I don't know, but I have not ignored it. It's just I think other researchers are running into the same thing I'm running into, which is just a dead end. It's just a black hole. I mean, I could tell you what I've learned apart from talking to people, but it's boring. Like what high school he went to, the names of the friends he hung out with. But unless you can give some of the stories that aren't available online, it's not much worth talking about. Baron, apex level opening, sir. Raising the bar, opening eyes, expanding minds. I'm like a drug. Stay off drugs. They're bad for you. Thank you. Never knew anyone who shared my middle name until now. Satan's spawn, really? How embarrassing for myself. I feel like I need a priest now. Your middle name must be Lane. Not that she's Satan's spawn. I don't know. Well, first, thank you. Very generous donation. Second, I don't think your middle name is going to be too big of an issue in your life. You sound like you've got it all together. You're certainly listening to the right program. I got Baron Coleman on one screen, the Super Bowl on another. I don't know what a superb owl is, ma'am. And in my eyes, both of them are equally entertaining. Thank you, Baron Christ is King. Well, I hope they're on mute. I want to listen to that. EK and Meghan Markle have similar resumes and personality disorders. You should have signed that with change my mind, because that would have been awesome. Change my mind. Could the realtor license Erika obtained be the starting point of a relationship connection to Pierre? That's not a bad thought. That's not a terrible thought. I don't hate it. It certainly could have been a starting point for some sort of infiltration project, even if they didn't know where it would take her. But yeah, I mean, it's possible that they'd had their eyes on a big real estate deal with a nonprofit for a while, and we're just looking for the right one. I don't know. I'm really bothered by. Let me take this down. Thank you. I gotta change subjects for just a second. I'm very bothered by this revelation that there's a Frenchman from Algeria, which at the time, again, when he was born there, was like an open CIA experiment. That will be working allegedly closely with a political organization. Like, didn't we have a whole ordeal in 2016 where we pretty definitively decided we did not want foreign interference in our elections at all? Like, we don't want Russia. We don't want China. Like, didn't Bill Clinton get in trouble for some Chinese interference in the election? And didn't Donald Trump allegedly have issues with Russian interference? I mean, we sort of decided this. This has been an issue that I thought we settled. And now all of a sudden, one of the largest political organizations in the entire country, certainly one of the, at least the last couple cycles, one of the most effective, now has direct influence from foreigners? It's weird. That is really weird to me. They're now working closely with organizations that have FARA registrations. They're now allegedly I'm talking about, Clock Tower and all that and Superfeed. And I don't know what Superfeed's deal. I don't remember who registered where, but just trust me, it's weird. And now we've got allegedly some sort of real estate connection with a foreigner. And we had a foreign prime minister allegedly offering to take this electoral campaign group to the next level. Huh? Like, I want the 535 members of Congress and the Senate. I want those people, our president, our vice president, all of our 50 governors, all of our thousands of state legislators, all of our tens of thousands of county commissioners and city councilmen and school board members, all the dog chasers, coroners, every judge. I want them all selected entirely by Americans. No offense to you, 28% of the people from my last show who chimed in at least on a VPN from overseas, if not from overseas. I want Americans deciding American elections. I don't want a prime minister of a foreign country offering to take an American political organization to the next level. I don't want a French real estate magnate offering to invest with executive. I don't know, man. I don't even know what they're doing. But I don't want it. Like, I don't want the French. I don't want anyone in the Middle East. I don't want anyone in Asia. I don't want Chinese people, Russian people, French people, British people. I don't want any of these people deciding who wins American elections. I want it all done domestically. And I'm really bothered by this revelation that Candace Owens has brought to the table. Very bothered by it. There's going to be an Einstein connection. Oh, to Miss Fratnzve, perhaps? I haven't ruled it out. The only teenager I know who stashed a nonprofit is Lila Rose, and she started mostly locals at the Planned Parenthood in California. Oh, my friends, if only you knew. I don't believe Lila Rose's rise was organic either. Do a little digging. Y'all, please lift up EK in prayer to truly repent and confess everything she knows. Matthew 16:26, Christ is King. I'm going to read it because I don't know what it says. And I know where it is. No more of these Hezekiahs. I'm not looking that up anymore. I can't find them. I got to go to the table, the holy table of contents. I don't need to go to the holy table. Oh, gosh, it's one of those nights. Apologize, guys. I got to admit my frailty. Matthew, was it 16:26? Oh, my goodness. What profit would there be for one to gain the whole world and forfeit his life? Or what can one give in exchange for his life? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Faustian bargain that is so often referenced in polite society. As women say that U.S. men are the devil. Yeah, because no one remembers the story of Adam and Eve. Exhibit B, Erika Frantzve. Erika Frantzve. Didn't Tyler Boyer set up the interview at TPSA for her? Pretty sure CO said that. I'm pretty sure I heard that as well, but I didn't include that in my opening because I couldn't cite it. I did want to put that in there. I couldn't find a citation fast enough, and I was trying to get the show started as I was finishing it. Looking forward to show outlining the timeline. I feel like CK's countdown started in October 2023. Needed him for DJT's election. Shut up, CO, about the Macrons, but in July 2025, he went too far. UVU is booked. I think that's a pretty compelling timeline you just outlined. It jives nicely with what we've discovered here at RBP. According to the Mishnah Nida, I don't know what that is. 5:4, there's nothing wrong with it. You're not antiseptic, are you? Don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what any of that means. I don't have a clue. Looking forward to show outlining the timeline. Oh, did I already read that one? Thank you. I watched that video today. EK is a PDF. IDC, what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. Well, it's certainly, I don't want to go that far. That's your opinion. Roll that beautiful bean footage. But I do want to say that it raises, at least in my mind, the possibility of it. And it raises the opinion in my mind that it is consistent with conditioning behavior. Baron, Erika's last pod seemed like she was premonitioning CK's death. Oh, yeah, we covered that. Prefacing what to say after. Also, her parents were also sheep-dipped. I found KF was an accountant at Southwest Illinois University. Really? Now that I didn't know. That I was not aware of. I have to look that up. Watch Crypto Casey's 8-minute episode, The Money's Worthless, so they're distracting us. Algorithms of the new digital Roman Colosseum. Charlie would have been muck ducked in a Colosseum back then. I haven't seen the video, but I believe you what it says. Opening statement straight fire. Absolute masterclass. Woo woo. I thought so. If I do say so myself. Selling my Papa John's stock on Monday. This is also gross. I didn't know Papa John's. Oh, because of the pizza? I don't think he had anything to do with it. It's absolutely disgusting. EK deserves her own special cell in hell. Well, that's your opinion, man. That's your opinion. Great stream as always. I watched this video last night. Once the girl says she wants to be inside her lady garden, I was like, okay, whoa. Can't say she was just being nice on social media because she sent her chocolates after that. Oh, and don't forget, she sent the lady garden to her text, I believe. I don't believe the lady garden was meant to be seen by everybody. These messages seem like the beginning of a Dateline episode. Yeah, Chris Hansen would like you to have a seat right over here, Miss Fratnzve. Look who introduced Erika to the TP job to get her hired. It was Andrew Colvett. I think it was Tyler. I don't think Andrew was there at the time. I don't think he was around yet. Yes, and implanting their chapter in all the high schools across the United States to brainwash our kids for their foreign policies, maybe. There's something going on because they're way too interested in getting into the high schools, and it's not a money thing to me. It's either a data collection thing or a brainwashing thing. I haven't figured out which. Did you notice Jill's last name is Falcone, connected to Pierre Falcone that CO talked about on last show? I think Pierre spelled it differently, though, didn't he? Yeah. Pierre Falcone spells it with an E. Jill spells it with no E. I think she has a tilde or something, or some kind of accent over the O. Like Falcon, but like Baron, but Falcone. I think it's more like that. Went from bad to what the actual F. Yeah, that was my experience when I was watching it. Erika's average to me. She's not average. She's like a 6.5. No, she's a 6.5. I find it strange that it is parroted everywhere how beautiful she is. Talking point, like the amazing Mikey McCoy. P.S. Erika's makeup artist. The perfect face travels with her now to events. Well, she needs to be fired. I assume she was slathering that on herself. I had no idea she was paying for that. I mean, she's conventionally attractive. I honestly think she would be way hotter if she had darker hair. You know, the Lord gives you hair to match your skin. And if you don't believe in the Lord, then nature gives you hair to match your skin. Like, if you take someone from Uganda, they have black hair. It matches their very dark skin. If you take someone from Libya, they have black hair. It matches their mostly dark skin. If you take someone from, some Irish guy or somebody from Sweden, right? They got this shock white hair, but they have these like crystal eyes, and it matches their skin. Erika does have the light eyes, but her skin is not the skin of somebody with shock white hair. And I think if she would just let her hair grow out to the normal color, she would be so much more attractive. I truly believe that. Like, your hair color is designed for your features. And when you mess with it, it messes with like people's perception. And that's just that. That's just a 46-year-old guy who's just been wandering around looking at people his whole life. That's just what I came up with. If you disagree, reasonable minds can disagree. But I think she's conventionally attractive. She's above average. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I was shocked. Actually, this is funny. As I was doing this background research on her, I looked up the old, allegedly the people she used to model with, which I could not find her there, but I could find a bunch of other people, and they were all like way hotter. And then I thought, well, maybe if I look at her pageant pictures, I'll find evidence of who her modeling agency was, and I can find then more modeling. I was looking for modeling gigs. Like, was she supporting herself modeling? Did she actually model? But I can find no evidence really that she did. And as I was looking at the pageant pictures, I was like, how did she win? Like, everybody at the judges table should have gone to get the eye exam right afterwards. Be like, right this way, sir. We're going to Owens Optical over on Smith Street. We're gonna can you see the big E at least at the top? Much less the second and third line. Surely you can't see the bottom line. It was wild. I didn't get it. You definitely got the skiff sitters from DC to Diego Garcia to Pine Gap monitoring tonight with bowls of popcorn and their supervisors wiggling more than you do. I saw something funny today on social media. They said when you eat popcorn at a buddy's house, have you ever wondered if the popcorn bowl is also the sick bowl, the bowl people get sick in? Because at our house it is. No, not at our house, but the person said that. And I laughed because I've never considered that. But the big bowl, everybody has the big bowl. People soak their feet in it. They wash wounds in it, serve popcorn. I mean, yum, yum. Yum, yum. Let me switch over to our grumbling friends. I think I already read that. Father Rehill about the E-files. The Bible does not say that evil suddenly appears in the last days. It says that evil is revealed. That perspective changes everything. Thank you, Baron. I love Father Dan Rehill. If you don't follow him on social media, you should. He is such a great guy. He's a great social media follow. Very attuned to culture and the impact it has on people. Let's see here. Oh, someone called Chris Hansen. Yes, have a seat right over here, would you please, Miss Fratnzve? Why do you think EK made a point of saying CK slept in the room and came in to get his necklace and ring that morning? Seems like something anyone else would have left out for many reasons. Sometimes evil has to tell you what they're up to. I don't know. I don't know what the rules of the game are. It was weird. It was weird, especially when they made a big deal about how he never took that necklace off. GoMax is weirdly similar to Gmax. Ghislaine's username. Tucker said something else originally, maybe fake audio from Megyn Kelly code word. No, I don't think so. I think they just misremembered. Have you seen the aerial photos from 910, not TP's drone? If not, say what to make the subject of the email, and I'll tell you how to find them. I've covered them on this program. We pulled them all up and looked at them. We looked at the different cars. We looked at the different positioning. We looked at we saw them. We even looked up the plane and where it came from and who owned it and all that. EK was tagged in that Lady Garden pic post. She didn't send it. Still very wrong and inappropriate for her to allow it instead of stopped long before. No, yes, she was tagged in it because the young lady was saying, the 15-year-old was saying, Erika sent me this. This is what she sent me. Meaning she probably sent it via text and then put it up there. That's how I interpreted it. If it happened differently, then maybe you're right. But either way, yeah, she should have taken action. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. Pretty sure I'm right. First super chat ever. You deserve it. I've been silent. I've been a silent watcher since the CK was take. Sent email title allegedly. Please read. Keep going, Max. We're on the winning side. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I'll check out the email. Is Jill Falcone the daughter of Pierre Falcone? No, different spelling. Has the donor Candace brought? Yeah, no. Different spelling. Hopefully. EK was planted in pageant and CK starts to prove me wrong. Was this intentional from the beginning of CK being handled? I'm not drawing the connection. I apologize. I'm just not following that connection. EK has been such a disaster. There's no way to salvage her damage. I fear what happens when they realize this. Yeah. Agreed. I mean, I don't know how they get rid of her at this point. They've kind of gone all in. On fire tonight, Baron. Baron, thank you for your courage and all you do to bring the truth to light. Go Max, thank you. Very generous donation. Thank you for your kindness. Roll that beautiful bean footage. I've watched grown men make the ultimate sacrifice for innocent children in Afghanistan. Now I get to watch the news about something like this in my own country. Yeah. Yeah, sad. Pretty sure Jill and EK connected regarding pageants. Jill maybe forgot to mention that part. It's still wildly inappropriate. I didn't get that. I don't know why that got past me, if that's true. No, I don't believe they're related. Baron, love the show. Any thoughts on things like 0 point energy, cold fusion, like the Sapphire Project? Free energy changed the whole world for everyone. So there have been, not relative specifically to the Sapphire Project, though I'm acutely aware of what the Sapphire Project is and what they're trying to accomplish and their findings to date. I'm not a believer that the sun is powered by fusion, so that cold fusion doesn't excite me quite the same way that it does others, but I understand what the Sapphire Project is trying to do with electrical energy, and I think that's closer to how the universe works. The guy from Y-Files has a great episode on all the people who have allegedly had massive introductions of efficiency and internal combustion engines and water-powered vessels and what's happened to them. It didn't end well for them, I'll say that. So I do believe it exists. I just wonder if it'll ever make it to commercial products. That next to last message from Jill with the pic of the ocean, the person who was replying at the top was questioning their judgment. Who was that? Well, I'd have to go back and find that. That got past me. I'll look at it after the show. That's intriguing to me. Wow shows how diabolically manipulative EK is. Poor Charlie didn't have a chance. Allegedly. And I put the word alleged or allegedly 3 times in my title to avoid legal action. Allegedly to avoid illegal action. I believe EK is a psychopathic predator. Well, that's certainly your opinion. Who recommended EK to Charlie? That, I believe, was Tyler Boyer. Charlie didn't have a chance the minute he met her. I do agree with that last part, in my opinion. What is the long goal with CK story? After all the research and investigation, do you think anything will change or any parties beyond TR held responsible? I hope so. I mean, that's the goal. Let's figure out what happened. How did he die? Who was responsible? That's the goal. We're working on it. Bloated photo shoot advice. I am a pro photog, giving Ghislaine Einstein vibes. That's what I thought. But what kind of photo shoot? Because I know a lot of people, that's their introduction to the conditioning lifestyle. Just do a photo shoot. Hey, we're going to do a little bit of a racy photo shoot. Just go ahead and take your top off, leave your undergarments on. We'll take some racy shots. This will get you some attention in the industry. That's not unusual. As an adult of 25, talking to a 15-year-old is not just wrong in every way, especially the way they were talking, ... Use of judgment and common sense was blown out of the window by one EK. I have that same opinion. Hey, Baron, just there to show some love for y'all. You do? Just when we think not get any worse, bam, it does. Go Max. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to get even worse based on things I know people are looking at. Did Erika write Tyler R.'s texts? Love. Is Jill Falcone related to Pierre Falcone? I think we've settled on the second one. That's funny on the first one, though. That's funny because they did use the word love a lot. I know TPUSA will spin this girl to be a stalker. I don't know that that'll work. I think they'll ignore it and hope it goes away. Baron, you missed the biggest allegedly. EK was pizza, then became a pizza delivery person herself. Maybe you don't. I get here late and I'm behind. I don't miss that. I strongly hinted at that at some point, maybe a couple times. First emails were from Erika before marriage. Last emails were from her married account. Not sure you mentioned that, as I had to tune out for a few. Either way, yuck. Were they still talking that late? I don't know that that's true. Someone on Grumble said they love Hecklefish. I got to the episode. I listened to the episode last night, as a matter of fact. I like Y-Files a lot. I listened to the episode last night where Hecklefish got kidnapped. And it was a huge ransom. He was like, keep him. I'll double it if you'll keep him. That was funny. Wow, Mr. Dowden with the big hundo on the Grumble chat. Thank you, Mr. Dowden. 231. Appreciate that. Erika's behavior is not unusual. Historically, demon succubi have had trouble processing and therefore adhering to societal norms. They also do things like laugh hysterically while mourning. That's a new word for me. Let me look that up. C-U-C-B-I. Succubi are legendary female demons rooted in medieval folklore and Jewish tradition, often linked to Lilith, designed to seduce men in their dreams and drain their vital energy, or I'm not going to say that other word on air, but life-giving potion, we'll call it, from the men. That's a disturbing image. Thanks for screaming at John Goodman. Exactly what I was screaming. I like how you called him John Goodman. While listening to him, you read my mind. I was trying to be patient. A few moments later, Erika and Stacey Sheridan are lovers. You think they're lovers, Katie? She said yet. She said she wasn't batting for the other team yet. Maybe she's moved on. I don't know. I think Stacey Sheridan's married, though. We shouldn't say that. Don't F with my tiny horses. Translations, look at me. The clown Shapiro is trying to distract from being over the target. I agree. He's trying to redirect it. Thank you, Madeline. From Tiny Horseman, Book of Cryptology for Dummies. Yeah, it wasn't very subtle. EK was maybe the Ghislaine Maxwell to ensnare pro athletes for blackmail. The basketball player was her second pro athlete boyfriend we know about. Then got assigned to CK. Yeah, could have been. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, she strikes me as my opinion, again, this is just opinion. I can't state this definitively for fact, but she strikes me as a sheep dip operative. No doubt about it. Keeping this clean because you don't like cursing, but EK is a creep, a teenage girl, and everything she's done in the past couple months, I'm disgusted. Well, if you heard my call that was recorded and released, I will curse when necessary. But thank you for keeping it clean. The recording is intentionally mispronouncing words the way Candace has done. Debacle, pronounced with an A like that in cat rather than that in father. Yeah, I thought that was a low blow. Man, people mispronounce words, especially, and that doesn't mean you don't know the word. Like, I gave a famous example one time. Are you familiar with the famous biblical character Nebuchadnezzar? I'd read the word. I'd never heard it pronounced out loud. And so I'm at I don't know what you call it, a group of men sitting around reading the Bible together. This is years ago, probably 20 years ago or more. But I'd never heard the word out loud. I'd read all about the guy because I'd read the Bible cover to cover by this point and read different passages. And so there I'm talking about a story involving King Nebuchadnezzar, which is how I had pronounced it in my head up to that point when everybody was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Who? I was like, King Nebuchadnezzar. You know, the king. And they were like, hey, Nebuchadnezzar. I'm like, well, that's not how it's spelled. Did you hear CO had the revised will for CK and EK gets nothing? No, I had not heard that. Is that news? Is that breaking news? Where did we learn about this? Charlie, Kirk, Will, Candace, Owens. See if that'll get me to it. This I've not heard about. I have not seen that. Is that a rumor? Or is that the truth? We'll get to the bottom of it. It was supposed to be her, not Charlie, a Colvette. Hi, Baron, 76-year-old big fan. Well, thank you, Texas Products 4390. I'm now a big fan of yours. Are you aware of Baby Q? Very compatible politics as you. Post on X. My message rejected when I typed his real name in chat. His initials AS. No. Baby Q on X? I don't know who that is. I'm looking. Baby Q. Maybe email me. Thank you for the generous donation. Sheep dip gives me a hankering for a French dip. Oh, man. There used to be a restaurant in Nashville called Houston's. Probably in other places, too. The greatest French dip there ever was. And they just served it with a mound of shoestring fries. I haven't seen a Houston's in 2 decades, so I don't know where they are. They must have gone away. But woo-wee! Did I used to eat the French dip at that place? Giving someone a haircut would be a great way of jumping into intelligence ops. Oogie doogie. Maybe Erika couldn't sleep the night before over excitement of becoming a billionaire shortly. Don't think about that. I think he meant don't F with small hats. But why do I feel like that's a threat from the Macrones? What did the red yarn thing mean? Thumbtack equal location. Also, they said burial and burr. They mispronounced a lot of words, but I don't think that's her mispronouncing it. That's just her local dialect where she grew up. I guess they said burial. I mean, what a petty, like she says burrow instead of bureau. But it's clear she knows what the Federal Bureau of Investigation is. So who cares how it was pronounced in the area she grew up in? Like if you go to Boston, they say chowder. instead of chowder. They don't know that there's an R there, but that's not their fault. That's just how they say it in the local dialect. Am I going to make fun of them? Oh, you idiot. You don't know that chowder has an R on it? Oh, you're so stupid. If we're making fun of how people speak, aren't we, I hate to say it, aren't we basically using the N-word at that point, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, honestly, if you're making fun of how someone speaks because of their dialect they grew up in, aren't you really just throwing a hard R at them? I mean, sorry she didn't grow up in a privileged home in Los Angeles, I guess. Is that it's gross. It's gross. I can say with certainty that this is, and sorry, I look. I do defend her because Candace has been so good to me, so kind, so friendly, so helpful that I'm now to the point where I'm starting to take it personally when people attack her for things like how she says the word burial. That is so offensive to me. I mean, it's offensive. I'm sorry, it's offensive. I can say with certainty this is typical in the pageant world. It's much darker and disturbing than anyone can imagine. I won't go on here. I do speak from experience, though. It's been a living nightmare. Do not put your kids in pageants. Well, first, Michelle, I'm terribly sorry that you dealt with anything like that. That sounds horrific. I was unaware that the pageant world was that way, but I don't challenge your experience. So I'm sorry, and thank you for the very generous donation, but I'm sorry you had to deal with that. If my kids got messages like that, I'd call the cops. They would wish I called the cops. The DW post was a direct threat because of a gate kid. We had to listen, decode this MK stuff. Shout out to Brooke and Bonnie. Go Max Barron. Go Max. I agree that it was a threat. I don't know why. I haven't come to the conclusion of why like you have, but the tiny horse doesn't stand for Ben in that threat, but for the entity that upholds and supports him. That is who she's been warned from upsetting. Ooh, now I see what you're saying. Tiny country, tiny horse? I think they would like to say they have a big horse. It's like she doesn't know who she is, guessing her parents conditioned and programmed her to do whatever they wanted. No one handles grief like EK is. I agree. I think there's something in her my opinion, I think there's something in her childhood that has led to a very weird woman in adulthood. She employed the Kamala method to the top. It's Kamala. I'm telling you, that's how she pronounced it. Erika was living the Rothschild life. Cheers to the Mod Squad, Baronets, Legend, Crisis King. Yeah, shout out to the mods. They do such a good job. I mean, they handled an attack last week and have gotten it completely under control. And from all appearances, things appear to be going pretty well in the chat. So you guys give them your absolute support. They do yeoman's work. Second super for Jet Puffed Marshmallow Cream for your sister's welcome basket. Keep going, Max, my good sir. It's funny you say that. She sent me a picture of her dinner the other night. Let me see if I can find it. You guys think I'm kidding about this marshmallow thing. She'd probably be horrified that I'm showing you this. Yeah. This was her dinner. I'm not kidding. Those are the marshmallows from a cereal box. I do apologize, young lady. You guys thought I was kidding about the marshmallows. I'm not. It's a thing. Hi, my C. What was it specifically that led you to start being suspicious of EK? Like the moment I snapped on her, or what initially led my suspicions? I need to put some thought in that. I remember coming on air one day and totally losing it and saying I'm officially over it. And I want to say it was when she was caught in a lie, but I can't remember honestly. I can't remember specifically. Someone said, I did my super to the wrong place. Does this make me old? Someone send Baron's sister to the dentist. Stat. She's smashing fluffy bones for dinner. I wish I could put that on the screen, man. That's great. That is funny. That is funny. Smashing fluffy bones. It's clear to me that child was a tri-target. That was my opinion as well. We all know what tiny blanks refers to. Yes, we do. We do. I just trying to stay out of the YouTube algos, if you know what I mean. Will Wayback Machine work on Twitter, like URL addresses associated with Jill's tweets, so we can see her alleged responses? I don't know. Let me know. I think there's a Twitter archive somewhere. Like I know I've put stuff up and immediately deleted it because I didn't like how it was worded and I wanted to reword it and I didn't want it to. And I'm sure that that's stored somewhere. I don't know. Great episode. EK's history is confusing because she was born into the pizza business. Every time there's a weird turn in her past mission or job in the pizza world changed. That's an interesting theory. I hadn't considered that. Hey, don't send the army at me like that. The boring line was a joke. Maybe depends on if you find my email. I'm not going to send the army on you, but calling me boring? I kid. You can call me whatever you want. Didn't get the notification you on Jimmy Dore. Was waiting for it. Have to go search. I hate that because we had a lot of fun. Jimmy's great. Quotes around the tweet. Erika Frantzve, I fell in love with the world in you, is just the girl quoting the tweet Erika made. Kind of sounds like a retweet. Oh. No, I thought that maybe that's how they used to retweet back in the day. Because I know Twitter's changed, but originally they had to put RT and then copy and paste. Maybe at one point it went to quotes. I got off Twitter for a while, or I was forced off Twitter for a while. And then I know now you can hit a button and it'll retweet it. So yeah, maybe. I took the quotes to mean it was a quote from a book or a song or something. I looked it up, and I can't remember which it was. She is sus as she double hockey sticks. Yeah. Yeah, that was my conclusion. How's it possible with how badly we see Erika perform in public that she would have been elevated or chosen to replace Charlie? Why her seems like the worst possible choice to lead. I've asked myself that same question. Why her? Why didn't they just pick someone else? And my conclusion was that it was a deal. Like they had to get her cooperation. And so it was like, well, if I'm going to cooperate, I want to be head. That's my conclusion. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. And I don't even know if I'm right. It's just an opinion. Tons of trolls on Jimmy Dore. Did you read some of the chat? You're officially a Fed now, counselor. I did not read the chat. I'm not a Fed. It's funny. I was reading, I think I said this on this show. I was reading one time on I don't even remember where I saw it. It was like a month before I mentioned it to Ian, but I said, Ian, I was watching some show and they were talking about you on the show. Like they were showing a clip of yours and someone said, oh, he's a Fed. And someone said, hey, that's not a Fed. That was my 7th grade geometry teacher or something like geography, whatever. And he's like, who said that? I was like, I don't know. I don't remember where I saw it. He's like, was it one of my shows? I was like, honestly, I don't remember. I don't think so. I think it was someone else's. He said, how long ago? I said, maybe a week or more. I don't know. And like an hour later, he said, I found it. It was a month ago. It was this show. Here's the quote. He sent a screen cap of it. And that's when I knew, don't ever mess with Ian. He's too smart and determined and dogged. Don't mess with someone who can research that well. That's an easy attack on people to call them a Fed. That's why I don't publicly Fed jacket people, because even if I had that suspicion about somebody, it's such an easy attack. It's like calling someone Hitler. It just wears off after a while. Hey, Baron, my wife and I love this alternative to the Gulls and Pilgrims broadcast. Appreciate your wit and work ethic to expose truth always with this high IQ outfit. It is a high IQ outfit. And yeah, I mean, I have I'm going to get off and there'll probably be second half or so to go. I'm not going to turn on the Seagulls and the Pilgrims. I have no interest. Like, why? When I could do something to better my life, right? Read a good book, do some research, prep for tomorrow's show. I mean, there's so much to do. Why would I go sit down and watch the Seagulls and the Pilgrims on a rigged game. Holy smokes, Batman. Romania, child blanking now makes sense. Oh. Yeah, you didn't know about the Romanian angle? Lifelong Bostonian here, happily skipping on the Pats to watch Baron. Thank you for your means IQ stimulating content as always. You know, my show last year, granted it wasn't this big because you guys did not know who I was last year, but my Sunday night show I did during the Super Bowl last year, I think it was one of the bigger shows I'd ever had. Apparently, a lot of people are skipping the not bigger shows I've had since then, but at the time, you know, it's all relative. But yeah. Tiny Horse Country propping him up, not himself. That makes a lot of sense. I had not considered that, but that now makes a lot of sense. I am the Tiny Horse. Oh, we got her, ladies and gentlemen. Daily Wire and Erika Kirk should stop blanking with me. I was the first to publicly identify her as a honey trap. You'll get there. That's your opinion. My opinion is evolving in that direction. So it's not that I disagree with you. Not that I disagree with you. Congrats on Jimmy Dore. Great to see you and Jesse on fire in the same week. I love Jesse's appearance. Thanks. Your time is coming. You're truly an inspiration in so many ways. You've aided me to be completely open about my Christianity on screen. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, be yourself, you know, and even people who aren't Christian, lean into it. Like, I mean, don't be ugly. There's no reason to be ugly, but thanks. I've really watched your progress over the last several weeks that I've been aware. I've only found you like a month or two ago, but I've watched your progress. You're great. Like, you're doing great work. And I like your show. And same thing with Bays, man. When I watched him the other day and he was like losing his mind on the air, I thought, he's just being himself. You could tell it was natural. Like, you could tell if someone forces a rant. It was not forced. He just ranted. It was great. Made great television or great internetism, whatever you want to call it. It was fantastic. So thanks. Good job. Well done. Keep up the good work. Get the reps in, brother. Get your reps in. Just keep making content. It will only get better. And that's not to say it's not good, but better's always better. Better's always better. And yeah, just be yourself, man. Just be yourself. What would it take to get a restraining order for many horses? A very tiny restraining order. Judge, can you sign this? It's a little bitty restraining order for a little bitty midget horse. He got the little bitty one. The judge has to get out like a toothpick and dip it in ink. That's great. What do you think about the Guthrie case? Distraction? Yes. Did you see TS say CK may be alive? Trigger Smart you're talking about? I did see that. I don't know that I agree with it. It would make him one of the more evil people on earth, I think. And I don't believe that about Charlie Kirk. So I don't believe he's alive. Now, the Einstein fella, I'm starting to really lean that way. Dorinda, thank you. That is very generous. Incredibly kind. Thank you. I mean that. But yes, I did see that show. I like Trigger Smart a lot. What do you think about the Guthrie case distraction? So I did want to get to this, but I clicked on it out of order. I do think it's a distraction, but it could also be a message. And the message could be, if you think you want to cover the Einstein emails or files or anything else, your family is in grave danger. Because if you remember, Savannah Guthrie interviewed some of those survivors and had a show about it. And then the files come out, and all of a sudden her mom goes missing. So that's pretty terrifying. Like, if you think about it, if you think about that order of operation, and then you think, well, is any other news organization going to cover it, knowing that happened? Not until they find out what happened. Barry knocked it out of the park on Jimmy Dore. So intellectual. I was proud of you. Stay humble. I'm doing my best. I am so uncomfortable as the guest. I don't know if you could feel that. And people said I looked uncomfortable with Candace as well. I'm just not accustomed to being a guest. I've never been I've been a guest on people's shows, but I've been behind the controls for so long. You know, my whole radio career, basically, I ran the board. I queued everything up. I led the discussion. I brought up the topics. I would have guest host and I would have co-host at times. There are times I did my own show, times I had co-hosts, but I always led the discussion. And it's hard when someone else is leading it because you're just kind of sitting there. You don't know where they're going either. Dues paying and card carrying 1% Menson here. I recognize the high IQs in this exceptional grand jury and especially love yours and your legal mind. Gleefully anticipate every show. Well, I like to have certified high IQ people. So thank you for bringing your certification to the forefront and ratifying our opinion as accurate that we do have a very high IQ outfit. So thank you. The NFL is completely fake. I tend to agree. There once was a gang called the Reagan's Colts. In 1920, several members of the Reagan's Colts joined the NFL. Gangsters are known to rig sporting events. Read the wiki article on Reagan's Colts. I will. That sounds interesting to me. I almost did. My opening, I have it written now, or mostly written. It hadn't been touched up, but the bones are there. About Teddy Roosevelt saving football. They were about to do away with it. The year he stepped in, it was like 1905. The year he stepped in as president to save the game of football, I think 18 or 19 college kids died on the field that year. And they were finally like, we got to shut this down. This is inhumane. Like we have a game that's so savage. People are dying. And he stepped in and he instituted rules and regulations and worked with the organizations and negotiated a way forward where they would drastically reduce the on-field injuries and deaths. And they did, and it saved it. And now we have the Seagulls and the Pilgrims fighting it out tonight for supremacy in the Worldwide Wrestling Federation version of football. Seems to me that EK told the truth for once. Casting sounds right, among others. J.E. was also into casting. Oh, you suggesting she ran a casting couch? Now casting director takes on a whole new element. I had no idea. Oh, gosh. Erika and their couch. My goodness, I had no idea. No idea. Among other, who better to recruit from young pageant girls in Arizona than Miss Arizona? Just saying. Yeah, maybe that's why they made her Miss Arizona, because they knew she'd play ball. That's a thought, because again, go look at the girls she competed against. I mean, I'm not saying she should have finished last, but bottom 5, maybe? You should look into support at the Black Line Brief. He's a really good new podcast. Thank you for the recommendation. Oh, Bad Bunny. Yeah. What was I saying? Bad Baby. No, that's the Cash Me Outside. Cash Me Outside. That's Bad Baby. Bad Bunny. That's who's doing it. I'm not watching him either. After listening to Candace talk about Vanessa Bryant suing the helicopter company, it's bothering me that EK hasn't sued Brian Harpole. Go Max. I think stand by on that. Blessed be Baron, Ian, and Candace. You know the difference between blessed and blessed? There's a difference. You know what it is? It's whether or not it's in the Bible. It's blessed, but in a religious context, we say blessed. Blessed are the peacemakers. So blessed be Baron, Ian, and Candace. And I don't know who, you're talking about Baron Trump, because there's 2 R's there. Baron Coleman only has 1 R. So yeah, blessed be Baron Trump, Ian Carroll, and Candace Owens. I'd like to be in that group one day, Eileen. The Winter Olympics opening ceremony in Milan, Italy 2026, showcase satanic symbolism again. Yeah. Benny Johnson has a short clip on it. It's a slap in our face. It's more than a slap in our face. Jimmy Dore Show with Baron. CBS News questions Epstein's Russia ties. UK PM Keir Starmer poised to fall with Christian Parenti. You're saying how to find it. Yeah. The Russian ties. That trips me out that they're trying to act like it's Russia. It's just funny to me. Like if I had to list the top 10 countries that I think he probably worked for, they wouldn't even make the top 10. Like I would go our greatest ally, maybe Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Turkey, England, France, Greece, United States. I might even throw a South American country in there or something like Ecuador. But I sure wouldn't put the Russians in there. I've seen no evidence of it. I have several white ink tattoos, and I'm a working professional in the entertainment industry, nonprofit world, and very involved with political affairs in Washington, D.C. I just posted on X, same username. Baron, you rock. Yeah, are you saying you also fit her? Just same description? Let me see if I can find that, because I don't know exactly what you're saying. I don't give a damn. Let's see here. I don't give a damn. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, this is good. I'm going to bring this up. Thank you, Dom. Thank you for your generous contribution. But this is a good post as well. Where'd you go? There we go. Let me pull this up for everybody to see. Let me make it so it's as big as possible. This is good. Good work. See, this is crowdsourced entertainment here. So what you're quoting here is the comment is from May 16, 2014. Quote, I have several white ink tattoos. I'm working professionally in the entertainment industry, nonprofit world, and very involved with political affairs in Washington, D.C. When tattoos are tasteful, they're considered a form of art, not a distraction that hinders your job opportunities. EK. That's interesting. She has several white ink tattoos? I don't recall seeing but the one on the hand. I mean, your humble host has tattoos. So I'm obviously not anti-tattoo, but I also wouldn't encourage somebody who's not super established in their career to get one that can't be covered with a short sleeve t-shirt and shorts. Like that's kind of my rule is if you, unless you're super established and know exactly what you're going to do in life, I think everything that you put on your body should be able to be covered up in shorts and a t-shirt because that's the least you'll ever have to wear in a professional setting. This video made by The Onion about dead wife and kids replaced by tiny horses. And someone with username Catch Me If You Can left a comment 3 days ago that says, wonderful, connected or no. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't know. I have to look that up. My shirt makes my teeth and beard sparkle. You going with the gray beard comment? You know, my 5-year-old does that. He'll come up and he'll rub my face and go, Daddy, your beard is so white. Your beard is so white. Your beard is so white. Yeah, it didn't used to be. When I first grew a beard, it was not white at all. I don't think I had a single white hair in it. I remember my first white hair was either on this side or this side as my mustache. And I thought, well, that's weird. Why is the beard going white? I was like 32. I had no idea what was coming. Old State Saloon, Eagle, Idaho, is a huge fan. Grateful you exploded and look forward to your pod every day. It's not Adidas. It's made in America. But Ian Carroll can attest that our hoodies are super comfy. May I send you one? You may. You may send one. Hey, I got a question. I was looking up today. Actually, email me because I have an Eagle, Idaho question. I was looking up today a link to the Charlie Kirk case, and Eagle, Idaho played a significant role. I'd never heard of Eagle, Idaho until today, and now this is the second time. So this is what I would call synchronicity, confirmation. Sometimes the Lord smiles on you and provides you evidence that maybe you were on the right trail after all, because I kind of thought it was a dead end. Can you email me, StarCatCan? I'll give you an address where you can send something, but can you email me at realbaronpodcast@gmail.com and just put your username in there? Or no, put Eagle, Idaho in the subject. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Put Eagle, Idaho in the subject. I'd like to ask you a question. So thank you. This has a high IQ community. Nothing is organic in this saga, including CK, many interviews before his elimination, his convenient Doge memo, his marriage, and ignorance of EK past. Baron, you just earned your colors by making a podcast, not watching the demonic NFL. As a traditional Catholic, my hats off to you. Sedevacantist. I'm not a sedevacantist. I am in communion with Rome. But if you are, then okay. But thank you. Very kind of your very kind words. I've sent emails so many times about video of Blake receiving the necklace. Must see. Yeah, okay. I'll check it out. If you're linking something I have to download, that's why I haven't seen it. So if you can link it to a YouTube link or something I can just play, that would be helpful. New here. Love your show. Found when you went on Candace. Is there a statue on CSA? Could this girl EK talk to have a case? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it didn't sound like it got overtly physical. I don't know. But I don't know the details. And I don't know what the rules are in Michigan. Baron just read that Tennessee is banning all mRNA injections of any kind. Great news. Are they? Tennessee mRNA. Let's see. The mRNA Bioweapons Prohibition Act. New laws in Tennessee effective July 1 include regulations on lab-grown meat. I'll have to look that up. I've not heard that, and I'm not seeing anything when I first look. So thank you for pointing me to that. I will look it up. Superb Owl is one of the biggest child transportation events. Sad, after learning this, I can't support it any longer. Thank you, Baron, for bringing truth with all the ears to hear and eyes to see. Christ is King indeed. I've not heard that about the Super Bowl. I knew there was a lot of adult activities for profit, but I was not aware of the child component. Do you remember when Glenn Beck talked about building a city for conservatives with a tower? Any thoughts? I don't remember. Do I have a P.O. box? Yeah, 1258 Spring Hill, Tennessee. 37174, I believe. 1258. Do EK's WCW have the same last name as Pierre? No, I don't think so. I think it's spelled differently. Family Tree website telling girls to current French guy with TPUSA. Also see chat from Jeremy May. The girl quoted EK saying, wake up next to. I don't know what you're talking about in that first sentence. I wish I did, Miss Cato. Sounds interesting. Candace is great, and tough as nails, I love her. Agreed. Baron, did you quit your upper deckies cold turkey? Also, have any recommendations? Also gave up my Dunkin' coffee habit to super chat on your show. America now runs on Baron. I've quit upper deckies in nicotine in various forms about 14 times in my life. So I don't know why I keep going back to it, but I have quit cold turkey and I've quit not cold turkey. I've titrated down and then I've quit cold turkey. So I have much experience quitting nicotine, a tremendous amount of experience quitting nicotine. I still have dreams about Copenhagen, believe it or not. So no, I wish I could say that I was a one and done guy, but I was not. The 15-year-old Jill Falcone, Pierre Falcone. Yeah, I think the name's just a coincidence. I see everybody making that connection. See current Olympics drama. What? All right, you got me. I got to look that one up. Why inject hyaluronic acid into their wangs to fly further? What? I don't know that I want to look that up. I don't know the connection either. Why would that make you fly further? All right, I'm going to look it up. Let's see. I'll read. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen in case it says something weird. Size matters. Most certainly does in ski jumping, where the increased bulk in an athlete's suit could impact aerodynamics. 2-centimeter increase in suit size could add 5 to 6 meters to the length of a jump. Okay. I've heard enough, ladies and gentlemen. That's as far as I want to research SizeGate. We the people need a plus movement with our heroes, voices for us. The list is Baron, Ian, Candace, Michael, Jaco, Valhalla, Jesse on Fire has come from us. Any thoughts? Much love from Watauga, Texas. I would add several people to that list. I like Coach Colin, Sugar Smart. I'd add Danks, Billy and Brandy. Like, there's a lot of good podcasting going on out there on the good side. There's probably others that I'm forgetting. So don't get mad. Not watching live, literally nothing to do with EKCK TPUSA, but wanted to give you credit. You mistakenly identified the Leave Brittany Alone video. The person is Kara Cunningham. Oh, my sincerest apologies. So thank you for correcting the record. Wouldn't want to have that one hanging out there. Baron, I think it was you that mentioned EK tweeted lost a friend in a mass shooting. Yes. That was, I did tweet it, I think, but I think Candace and I discussed that for the first time publicly on her show. That's where that news was broken. Jillian's story makes me wonder who that friend was and how old. No, she didn't say she lost a friend. She said she had a friend who was there. So I want to get the record right on that. But yeah. Philly offers Charlie $150 million, taking the next level. I don't know the exact amount, but I think there was a big number. But needs U.S. dollars. So while being frivolous, we send $900 million to them. Oh. You can easily Google Beck's vision. It was nothing nefarious. I remember when he talked about it. I mean, I assume I could Google it. I just didn't, I'm not familiar with it. I run behind, but I think those tweets back in 2013, 14, the format of those tweets look like the current format with grok sign and upper right sign, unless I'm missing something. I don't think they were screen grabs. I think they're still available. I mean, I don't think they were screen grabs from back then. I think they're still available. And so they would have the current formatting on them. You just keep scrolling back and you'll find them. Hi, Baron. Convinced my husband you're legit. Although a Catholic, he's suspicious. Says everyone's a plant. I'm not a plant. I don't know. How can I convince you? Gosh, I don't know what to say. Like, it's just me. Like I'm reach out to me, send me an email. I don't even know what to say, man. I have pretty normal jobs. Like as a lawyer, when I did not work in-house years ago, I represented, political people, but that was operating as a lawyer 6 to 15 years ago. For the last 5 years, I've been pretty benign. I've worked at a company that did some IT contracting and a company that did healthcare data analytics. And I just kept podcasting on the side. I had a radio show in the 174th largest market in America. I just don't know why I would be considered a plant, but whatever, I can't change his mind. How can EK possibly be the CEO of an org that's core purpose is working with youth 22 and younger? Well, that's a really good question now in light of this, especially the push into the high schools. Like, is this who you want leading an organization who is trying to put a chapter in every high school in America? You've raised a great question. Great question. Ivan, Baron making a left here. Do gliders usually fly at night in Tennessee? Currently south of Brentwood. Do gliders usually fly at night? Is there a hang glider? Are you talking about like a plane glider? Like, would it show up on ADSB? I'm looking. If it's a hang glider south of Brentwood, I'm a little concerned about that, considering my present location. I don't see any gliders. I see one plane doing weird stuff over Murfreesboro. And I see some commercial jets that look like they're coming into Nashville or leaving Nashville, but I see no glider. Is there a hang glider south of Brentwood? Because that's concerning. YouTube won't let me send the SC I was trying to send about the teens that held to have bay bees referred to as farm. Sick doo-doo. I don't know what you're saying, common sensing it. I mean, maybe the super chat's overly aggressive, but yeah. Could you please list some areas we could focus our research on and send to you? Researchers want to help, but there's so much guidance needed. I think right now, Charlie's childhood, Erika's childhood, the week or two leading up to the Big Bang, are two giant holes in this investigation. I would say anyone who was on the ground in Utah that day that worked for TPUSA or who was known to TPUSA, anything you could possibly learn about them going back 5 years or more. I would say anything about Erika's professional life since 2012 is on the table. And certainly anything about her time in 2017 and 18 leading up to meeting Charlie is on the table. So those are the places I would look. They're attempting to backdoor the First Amendment by sunsetting Section 230. If passed, all the programs like this will cease. It is what has allowed the conspiracy fact conversation to occur. Pizzagate, the jab, even Einstein. Yeah, I agree. The Section 230 repeal is one of the most terrifying things I've heard out of Congress. I don't believe the social media companies will want that because it will cost them billions of dollars, because almost all of the really good content would be banned because they wouldn't be able to handle the litigation. I was on vacation, met the priest at Mass 3 in the town where CK had his condo in Florida. He was very friendly until I brought up CK. Very similar response to the priest in AZ. Kind of broke my heart. Interesting. That is interesting. I was bothered when Candace was talking about CK's third eye and astral projections. It's demonic. What's your take? I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other night. The other night? 2 nights ago. The third eye stuff worries me deeply. The astral projection worries me because it can be used for demonic purposes. Yeah, I think he was being guided by people in his youth into spiritual territories he shouldn't have been going, but those weren't Christian people. I think those people in and of themselves were demonic. I know their names and I'm not going to say them. I think the necklace was duplicated and weaponized. The best suspicious item close to his body for a skin internal explosion attack and searched so avidly. EK has the original necklace as a trophy. If it hadn't been just disappeared, I think she's wearing a replica as well. That's in my opinion. Photo shoots, then modeling, then yeah. As far as you know, can you think of any reason why Erika spent so much time conditioning Jill? It seems like she was deeply invested. I mean, I've got my suspicion. I've got my opinion. It's probably similar to yours. Again, nothing is organic, including CK text about his outing, but not to his friend CO, the leak from Andrew K., who is somehow working with TP USA. Is that what the P stands for in TP USA? It's been watching Nis C for a while. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly. She reported called Destiny's live on 910, where he quickly shut caller up before she said too much regarding CK Bang. We're so screwed. IMO, EK was looking for a beauty to train as a handler for her network. The question is, was she working more than one angle? I mean, in my opinion, I think you're onto something there. And if we are onto something, the next question would be, is there anyone else that she was working? Because that one seemed to not work out. Coop on YouTube video about Fortran posts from, man, you guys saying some stuff. Ex-driver for Einstein who caught Roger Stone compromised. I watched that video. Allegedly identifying tattoo on his back wearing an animal head mask on the island. Yeah, I read that. I watched that video. I just don't know what credibility to assign to it. Like, people can say anything. Is there any evidence that he's right? I don't know. Baron, my daughter just got engaged. Can I get a shout out to Shay and Robert? Of course, Shay and Robert. I hope you have a long, healthy, happy, fruitful marriage. Baron, who's the new guy that Charlie hired to Doge TPUSA? Maybe he would know what Charlie was concerned about. I don't know that there was a new guy hired. He elevated Justin Strife to a COO position in that memo that was announced. But keep in mind, if Candace can be believed, I believe it was Justin Strife, she said, made the first call immediately post Big Bang. And that was to the donor, allegedly Pierre Falcone. Now, again, I'm putting a lot of faith in her reporting there. But if all that turns out to be true, can he be trusted? I don't know. And allegedly, she caught him lying. And I don't know. It's just, I have to go on her reporting. I'm just piggybacking off of her stuff there. Thank you for existing. Oh, you're duly welcome. First vid EK posted after CK's passing to his social scares me. I think EK was speaking directly to CK. Please share post. Date is 9/24/25. To his social. Which social? I mean, I can see the problem with that is none of these socials are easy to search. So I'd have to pull up Charlie Kirk's, assuming it's even Twitter. I'd have to pull it up and scroll back all the way to that date. And that's going to take forever because these don't search well. So I can't do that on command. I'll scroll for a second, see how far back I get. I am only back to September 30th. So I'm close. Let me just scroll and see if I get there. September 23, September 24. Nope. September 26, 25. There is no 24 on Twitter. So here's a video of her on there. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, unfortunately. The text from Andrew to Gary says she went to dinner with Charlie, not cooked dinner or ate dinner. You don't go to dinner at home. That's a good point. That one got past me. Loving purple things. Speaking of mispronunciation, succubi. Okay. So sue me, succubi. Actually, don't. I don't want to mess with demons. First super chat. Obsessed with your show. Been listening consistently for the last few months. Thank you, Cole. Well, thank you, Cole. I'm obsessed with your comment. Love listening and learning from you, Baron. Thank you for all your hard work you bring to us. Well, thank you for your generous donation and your kind words. TikTok. I don't know what that means, but thank you. I just looked at the time and saw that we were over 3 hours. But we'll get there. We're getting towards the end. He who is not angry, whereas he causes to be, sins. Oh, he who is not angry, whereas he has cause to be, sins. For unreasonable patience is the hotbed of many vices. St. John Chrysostom, forgotten doctor and bishop of the church. Not forgotten. Maybe gone, but not forgotten. Make America great again, Baron. Love the UK. Big UK fan there. And a big fan of Egyptian symbology, apparently. Two great Houstons in ATL. Well, I need to check them out next time I'm down there because I'm missing the French dip and French fries. They're the best French fries. Absolutely phenomenal. The tiny horse might be referring to the state that he always speaks for. That's the conclusion. The ones CO, like many of us, are not happy with. They're capable of anything. Willing to bet Nick F and Ben S were gate kids too. Probably not a bad guess. Erika Lucky Charm Kirk. I think Lucky Charms what my sister was eating. Why did EK parents get married in Marblehead, Massachusetts? Very unique town, far from Ohio and Arizona. Sister not listed in grandfather's obit. Go Max. Oh, I didn't know the sister wasn't listed. I think there's a reason why. I don't think that's Kent Frantzve's daughter. I think it's another either person Lori was married to, Erica's mom was married to, or at least living with. I don't think it was Kent's daughter, even though she had his name for a while. But it's certainly interesting. I don't know anything about Marblehead, Massachusetts. Let me look it up. Marblehead. It's got a weird name. I wouldn't want to be known as living in Marblehead. Oh, it's in Salem. That makes sense. We're on to something. Oh, gosh. I had no idea. Marblehead is right there in Salem. Wow. Are you calling her mom a witch? I don't think that's polite, sir. I don't think that's polite. Might not be wrong, but it's not polite. Baron, you make me spit out my drink every episode at some point. Well, you shouldn't drink and listen. Hey, what's funny is my roommate in college, we had to have a rule. We were not allowed to speak while we ate dinner. We cooked dinner every night together, almost the same meal every night. Cook a piece of meat on the grill, chicken, pork, steak, hamburger, whatever. Cook a piece of meat on the grill, and then Kraft macaroni and cheese and Le Sueur peas. It was almost every night with whole milk. College fare. And we would sit there and we used to crack each other up. He had a great sense of humor. Your humble host was sometimes funny as well. And we'd spit out milk so many times and peas up into your sinuses that we had to make a rule, no talking during dinner. And so we would make a meal, we would sit down and eat in total silence, and then we were done, we could get back to talking. That's funny. LOL EKJ message, pageants. No ALC salt, no alcohol, salt, bloating because pageant, EK coaching, not okay and disgusting. I grew up in dance world, high level, and coaches say nasty things. I think you might be onto something. I was not aware of the pageant angle and how dark and demonic it was until tonight, frankly. As a conspiracy theorist, I felt alone. Well, you're in good hands here. You're in company. I mean, I think there's 21,000 of us watching along with you. I'm slowly starting to get people to see the propaganda and lies. Thank you and all the other podcasters for bringing the truth to light. Happy Super Baron Sunday. Oh, superb owl? No, Super Baron. Look, all a conspiracy theorist is these days is just someone who's ahead of the news cycle. I mean, go back 9/11, COVID, all of it. I mean, you insert conspiracy theory here. We're just ahead of the news cycle, ladies and gentlemen. We just tell tell people what's going to happen before it happens, or tell people why it's happening, and then later they'll find out we were right. Tiny horse, aka midget horse, meant to describe those supposed vessels or non-human looking elites. Okay. I like the idea that it's the tiny country. My granddaughter's 7. I buy a whole box of cereal just to throw away the cereal after the marshmallows are gone. Are you raising my sister? I think she does chunk out the grains and just eats the, what do they call it? Fluffy bones? I think so. That made me laugh. Dan S. has no reason to speak on anyone's speech. Nose squealing, tiny horse riding twerp. Talking about Ben S.? I think you're talking about Ben S. Go Baron for protecting CO. CO lost a close friend but gained a big brother with BC. Aw. She does feel like kind of like a little sister, though. I feel protective of her. I see a side of her that doesn't come across the screen. She is brilliant, for one. The amount of information she can keep in her head is unbelievable. Her recall is phenomenal. Like, I'll say something just random, and she'll say, "Hold on, let me pull something up," and she'll go pull something up from like 2018. Like, how are you holding that in your head? That readily accessible. It doesn't matter what story you tell. She has one that's like on point and adds to the discussion. It's not one-upmanship. It's like, oh, but then this, and it's like expands the discussion. Her ability to put disparate pieces of information together in a coherent narrative. Like, I believe her when she says she used to solve the puzzles really fast. Like, I was in that program when I was real little, and they give you puzzles, and they have like a beeper that goes on, and you get to stop at the beep or whatever, and they judge your progress. And the goal was always, in my mind, try to get the puzzle done before it beeps so that you look cool, or try to do the math before the beeps or whatever. I believe she probably just dominated stuff like that. Like, her ability to put disparate pieces of information together and tell a coherent narrative. And even when you first hear it, you're like, I'm not too sure about that. And then additional facts come out. You're like, oh my gosh, she was way ahead on that one. And here's something that most people don't see and may not even attribute to intellect, but I do. I watched her cold read ads. It's shocking how good she is at that. You guys see me trip all over the open every night? Not her. There's no tripping over anything. I mean, one take Jake. It's unbelievable. And I've been reading ads for a long time. When I was on the radio, I read ads every day. I had to go in the recording booth and read the ads. They give you a script and you have to read it, or you have to come up with one on the fly. And it took me 10 minutes, 20 minutes to get through each one. You get 2 or 3 that day, 30 minutes or an hour, you're in the booth, editing it down, cutting the awkward pauses out. Not her. Not her. What you see on her ad is like what she's doing in real time. It is remarkable. Very few people I've come across can do that cold. An ad she's never seen the script to. Like, she's familiar with the product, obviously, but I mean, she's a believer. I believe in what she sells, but hadn't seen the script. It just, I mean, that's impressive. You don't see that very often from people. So I do feel a little protective of her. When someone's good to me, I protect, I am anti-satanic. Does that make me a bad guy? No, we should all be anti-satanic. I mean, there's a Houston's in Scottsdale. I'll have to fly out there and say, hey, stop by the TPUSA headquarters. Anybody down for an interview? I got some Rode GoPro wireless microphones. Trust me, they don't explode. These are the good ones. These are the kind that stay intact the whole episode. What if they let me wire them up with one of them? There's a Rode Go. You mind if I just put it under your shirt there? Here's a necklace you can wear. Did you get the t-shirt we sent you? Thank you for your solid work, Baron. I don't know which one you sent. Oh, Angel. Yeah, I did get it. Angela. I did get it. There were 2, right? I did get it. And thank you for sending it. And thank you for being a part of the program and being supportive. I genuinely appreciate all your support over the many months that we have become acquainted. But I did. My wife actually went into the P.O. box with me, and we came out, and she was holding it, the package. I said, who's it from? And as soon as she said the name, I was like, oh, I know them. They're good commenters. EK could totally be an intelligence asset, but her life is perfectly matching a life of a person with rich parents. I don't know about perfectly, but I mean, I'll give you that. But are her parents rich? Like, her mom doesn't live a rich lifestyle, nor does her dad. I know where they both live. I've looked up their houses. I've looked up their past. I looked up, she's not living a rich lifestyle. Nebuchadnezzar. My soul needed that. My pee my pants laughter tonight. Thank you. Jet puffed marshmallows aren't organic. Yeah. They're not good at all. Not at all. EK comments still on Jillian's IG. Just looked it up. Couldn't find Twitter. Wild, isn't it? Sorry, I'm running like 2 hours behind live. The fact that Erika typed wow before correcting sex to sec in her text makes me lean towards it was not a typo. Yeah. The whole thing's weird. Went to mass for the first time on Saturday night. They looked at us strangely for not doing all the ritual things they were doing, but approached us after. We're very friendly. I felt embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. I mean, we call it Catholic calisthenics. Stand up, sit down. Stand up, sit down. Kneel, sit down. Stand up, kneel. Stand up, sit. You're getting the exercise. Catholic calisthenics. Don't be embarrassed. Everybody's been there. EK and JDV IMO. You mean that you think they're together? I don't think so. But I could be wrong. Baron, you're a control freak. Man, it's okay. We all have one or two in the family. I am actually a bad control freak. I hate being out of control. Hate it. And I do like being in control. Hey, please read the Rumble chat. You might learn something. I'm reading it. Reading it right now. Y'all act like I don't read you guys over there. I read. But thank you for the donation to chastise me. You could chastise me some more if you do it again. C, like you with CO, that's how we feel defending you against JG. Don't hush our loyalty and defense. Just say thank you. Edge, thank you. I genuinely mean that. Thank you. Hey, Baron. You and Ian inspired me to finally start my new show, Disaster After Dark. As an emergency manager, I can't sit by and watch this evil. Well, I look forward to watching you get better and improve. I love all these people starting new shows. I love it because they can't come for all of us. And if there's only 3, 4, 5 people out there, then they're all gone. But if there are hundreds of people in the bullpen getting reps, getting better, it only helps the cause. I think they chose EK to run TP because they thought our sympathy for her and respect for CK would translate to young people voting for JD just because she says to. I agree. That's a very good point. I had not thought of it in those terms, and I am in agreement that makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. Jesse on Fire puts forth an interesting perspective in The Making of a Martyr, Part 1. It's the first time I contemplated the possibility you can't unsee it. I watched that, and I understand what you guys are saying. I get it. But I'm saying the consequence of Charlie Kirk still being alive is that he is one of the most evil SOBs on the planet, because there's a young man on trial for his life. There are tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people in deep, sincere mourning, researching every day all these issues. What a waste of time that would all turn out to have been if he's still alive. That said, I understand the argument, and it is compelling. It's compelling. I can't get past that mental block. But thank you. Very generous donation, and thank you for a really good comment. Be sure all PO box mail is open before bringing it home. What, you want me to blow up at the PO box instead of at home? I think they got Kaczynski. They already got him. Have you guys ever read his? Maybe I'll do a show on that one day. You guys ever read the manifesto from the Unibanger? Hard to argue with a lot of it. My problem with the CK Alive theory is too many people would have to be trusted to keep the secret, which never happens. That would make Tyler Robinson's trial truly evil of CK. Yeah, the evil problem is my problem. Erika said she was chosen by my husband to lead the team. The team said they chose her to lead the team. So which is it? Oh, good question. My cousin won Miss Tennessee a while back. She then went on to Miss America pageant. She won the talent competition. She was really good on the violin and could sing. She told me the whole thing was rigged. Well, surprise. They would rig that? Are you kidding me? Congratulations to your cousin, by the way. In my opinion, our Olympic athletes are showing the world how uneducated the U.S. have become. I've not followed it. I've not even watched a second of Olympics. So I've not looked at any Olympic news. I don't care. The Peony Gate is the first thing I looked at. And honestly, if Olympians are shrinking their manhood in order to fly 5 inches farther, that's all I need to know to not watch. That's enough for me. That's enough Olympics for me for one life. Injecting your manhood to fly 5 more inches? No, dog. I'll be right. I'll just fly 5 inches less. In fact, I might go the other way and fly 10 inches less. Definitely a threat. No other way to look at it. Playing mind games. And to think I used to listen to the midget horse rider and thought it was the greatest. The older I get, the more I realize I know nothing. I used to listen to him. I used to listen to him, Mark Levin, Sean Hannity. Gosh, so many. I don't want to keep naming names, but I mean, I used to listen to all these people. You live and you learn. We were watching Prince's halftime show. Had a crush on him since age 5. I'm 46 now. I'm 46. I did not have a crush on him at age 5, but I remember his music back then. By giving haircut, I mean the G word, which YouTube doesn't like. And by jumping in, I mean a loyalty test like of the gang. Oh. Okay. Got you. We could just use the word conditioning instead of the G word. Our bodies are the temple of the Holy Ghost. No tats. Yeah, I've heard that argument. Too late. Too late for some of us. The post you just showed, was that the 15-year-old girl with EK? Post I just showed. What time did you say? 7:48? Oh, this one? That's a good question. It looks like it is. Oh my gosh. Good catch. Jay Luz Falcone. Holy mackerel. I didn't catch that, Dom. I didn't catch that at all. She got an ampersand tattoo, and it looks like white ink is healing. Most awkward picture of my life, but just the start of many more to come. It reminds you to always be grateful, reminds you of your past and everything that you have overcome in life. Because in life, the sun will always rise the next day, and life will always go on, because there's never an end, only a new beginning. And then that's what Erika Kirk says. I have several white ink tattoos. I'm a working professional. So this was 612 weeks ago. Let me look up what date was 612 weeks ago. Was this during all that escapading? So she'd convinced May 9, 2014. This was in the midst of all that. Wow. So now we're putting some things together here. Thank you for that. Wonderful. I owe you $5 for that. That was a great thing. So we're putting several things together here. One is, not only was she having these inappropriate conversations, or what I deem inappropriate in my opinion, but this girl followed her lead and got white ink tattoos. And we know that Erika had them at a time, because in this very text thread, she says it. I'm a working professional in the entertainment industry, nonprofit world, and very involved with political affairs in Washington, D.C. Now, hold on. This is news, too. Were we aware she was very involved with political affairs in Washington, D.C. at the time? Let me blow this up and see if you can see it. Were you guys aware that in 2014, Erika Kirk was very involved in political affairs in Washington, D.C.? I was not aware of that. That's news to me. That's news to me. I was told she was working in modeling and pageantry in the entertainment industry. Very involved in political affairs in Washington, D.C. in May of 2014. What? This is nuts. That's crazy. In fact, hold please. I need to screen cap that. I'm going to send a tweet out when I'm done and asking if anyone else was aware of this. That is crazy. Let's craft a tweet together, shall we? Let's craft a tweet together real quick and see if anyone else was aware. Actually, let me need to add that to it here. This is interesting, guys. Let's see if other people are aware. 612 weeks ago was May of 2014. Was anyone else aware Erika Kirk was, quote, very involved with political affairs in Washington, D.C. in May of 2014? I was not. Let's see what people say. They usually respond pretty quickly. We'll let that stay up there while I read through some more of these. That's crazy. That's crazy. The CEO of TPUSA was the one who got the life insurance money. Look it up. I saw Danks's video on that. Love the Uncle Show B. Love the show, Uncle B. Yeah, I learned not too long ago that uncle meant old. That was Brandy and Billy called me uncle, and I was like, why you call me uncle? They're like, it means old. Thanks, girls. I appreciate that. What do you think about TPUA having their own halftime show? Also, are you excited for the CrossFit Open this year? So one, I think the alternate halftime show is totally stupid. Totally stupid. Two, second thing is, am I excited for the CrossFit Open? Of course. Absolutely. I don't think I'll do very well this year. I'm a little deconditioned because I pulled a hammy, but I'm getting back at it. I've had 4 good days in a row where I've worked out really hard the last 4 days, really high intensity workout. So I feel like I'm getting back to it. Maybe by the end of February, I'll be where I want to be. I think I've got to guess on what the first workout's going to be. Let's see what people are saying. No one else seems to be aware. So let's let that roll a little while and see if other people weigh in. That's interesting to me, man. I had no idea she was very involved in political affairs in Washington, D.C. in May of 2014. So here's my take. I think the first workout, I'll come back to that in a second. I think the first workout is going to be a 10-minute time cap, 100-calorie row, 100 burpees for time. And very few people will finish. Most people will get time cap. That's what I think it's going to be. 100 burpees over the row for time. The reason is because Dave Castro has been very high on that workout lately. All right, let's go back. We got 15 comments now. We're up to 15 comments. Let's see if anyone else is aware. This is fantastic. Great show, great post. Well, thank you, Scott. Most pageant winners get involved in political arena. A honeypot. I was not. Interesting. Boo. Not surprised there's video of her center position and crown behind Trump at the announcement rally with Tyler Boyer. Not I. I don't think most people were aware of that. We'll let that continue to roll. It's not gotten a ton of traction yet, so we'll see. I've got to get through this, guys. My daughter's sitting there waiting on me to get done. It's been 3.5 hours. Hi, Baron. Love your show. Want to send you an email of survivor child of sex trafficking with elites and big names in mucus industry. Please read. Happy to read it. Thank you. Send it to me. Have you seen the leaked text messages of Erika flirting with a young teen girl? Have you not watched the last 3 hours of the broadcast, Sabrina? Even if she hadn't actually hitting on her, she was using bad language that was inappropriate. Couldn't agree more. How's the timeline of when chats ended with a 15-year-old and when EK went on next sports star, BF, or Amazing Venture? Could be why it ended. Love to see your faith spread to so many viewers. Stay strong and be bold. I'm doing my best. You guys are very generous tonight. Thank you. I am, because I have a waiting 19-year-old that I have not seen in a week, and I want to get in there and spend some time with her. So I am moving through these a little quicker. This is interesting. Her podcast video seems like a message about her and Charlie's marital problems, giving scorned lover vibes. Wonder why she wasn't wearing her ring the night before. Why he wasn't wearing his ring the night before. Yeah, same. Take a closer look at the childhood pic of EK. White hair, white outfit. I upscaled it, and it's definitely EK. She's wearing a straight jacket, increased saturation, and she's dirty with bloody clothes and nose. Image search on BG wall screen. Will you email me that? I've not seen that. I've not seen that at all. Guest childhood. No, I'm not seeing that. Guest nerves attributable to inability to conceal your enormous IQ. Okay. Oh, you mean when I'm a guest on someone else's program? It's hard to hold back, is what you're saying. Maybe. Thank you for that generosity. That's why tiny horses don't compete in ski jump. I saw the update on the superb owl score, but I can't show that because the NFL gets really weird about giving updates that are not their broadcast. Nancy Guthrie's church bishop engaged to Paul Sheehan, CEO of SEAF, supported EK Orphanage and her mom's tech company. They're all connected. Bishop's dad also military, but untraceable. I'll have to trust you on that and look into it. Let's see. Wasn't sure you'd be on tonight because of Superb Owl, easily my favorite podcast. Thank you for working tonight. Of course, Sabrina. Sounds like you were watching the Superb Owl. Go back to the beginning. It's been a hell of a show. It's been great. You're gonna learn so much. CK slept in child's room because it wasn't gonna see her for a while. Plan A. He didn't know there was a plan B and never gonna see her again. Maybe. I just have a hard time believing that that's why he slept in a child's room, and I have a hard time believing anything she says. So I have no idea where he slept. The security guy that jumps over the table when it happens looks like he grabbed something off the table, perhaps the pendant. Was it St. Michael, who made a big deal about the necklace? I didn't see him grab anything. I watched it in slow-mo a zillion times, and I didn't see it. But I saw what his hand slid across, but I didn't see him grab anything. The battle is simple. Good versus evil, not Democrats versus Republicans. Both parties have been sheep-dipped. I tend to agree. That it's not right versus left anymore. It used to be, and there's still some right versus left variability to it, but it's really us versus them, the elites versus the common guy. The globalists versus the people who just want to be left alone and live our own lives, the people who view us as commodities and the people who view ourselves as made in the image and likeness of God. Like there's so many us versus them scenarios, but I agree with you for the most part. Holy mackerel. Nance, thank you. Great work. Man, thank you. Holy mackerel. That is humbling when you guys do things like that. Thank you. I'm broke. I'll give this to ask this, be honest, which you are, but do you watch the most? Who do I watch the most on YouTube? The most. You know what I mean, bro. Who do I watch the most? I don't know. I kind of vary it up a lot. I don't know what you say that you know what I mean. I never miss Candace. I mean, she's probably that in terms of I watch 100% of what she puts out, or 90%. I mean, occasionally you have to miss or you miss segments or whatever, but I try to watch it all. I don't know after that, to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people. So thank you. Great question. Let's see. If you're being objective, you have to question CK's meteoric rise also. Why can't CO say the word Jesus? Does Candace not say the word Jesus? I know she's been kind to you, but don't let that cloud your discernment. Too many flags. I've heard her say Jesus, I think. I know she thought I skipped mass one time. And because she misunderstood what I was saying, because I was saying I go here sometimes, and she only thought I was saying I go here, because I say I go there about a third of the time. And she was like, you have to go to mass every week. And I was like, oh, I do. She's like, well, you said you only go a third of the time. I said, but to that parish, I go to other parishes. She's like, oh, okay, shoo. She's like, you can't let that slip. It's important. So I know she takes her faith very seriously. But I don't get any flags with her. I just don't. Do I question CK's meteoric rise? Yeah. Yeah. First super ever. Always look forward to your show. Wonder if the small girl at 2015 rally with EK and Man was her sister, the one who was emancipated. Maybe the right age difference. Well, her sister's 19 years older. So unless she's rides tiny horses, I don't think so. Erika's 19 years younger than the older sister. So unless she's just a itty bitty little sister, a itty bitty little older sister, I don't think that's accurate. But thank you. Thank you for your comment there. Baron Trump posted a pic of him and Charlie when he died that read, "Great Charlie Kirk, R.I.P. Slow-mo peril." Which please look up the definition. Did he really tweet that? Because that sounds like a dig. Let's look up what it means. I don't see anything. Search only for slow-mo pearl. I don't see anything. I'm going to put quotes around it. See if that helps. Oh, there we go. With Charlie Kirk. I don't see any meaning of it. I don't know what I'm supposed to be finding here. I see the guys, a giant. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not finding it quickly, and I got to run. I can't remember which YouTube channel. I saw a picture of EK at a rally in 2015. Yeah, there's a lot of them that have it. She was at a Trump rally. Tyler Boyer has talked about that. I think he's the one that invited her. And I think it's pretty well out there. Guys, I appreciate it. You guys have been amazing. You always are amazing. I got to go visit my daughter. I haven't seen her in over a week. I made that connection last night, and I begged her to come see me tonight, and she did. So I'm going to go out there, hang out with the family for a little bit. Guys, I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it. I will see you back here tomorrow night. We'll follow up on some of this because I have some interesting answers that are coming in on Twitter. So I'm going to go check on my family. Don't forget to like, subscribe, notifications, and more importantly, share it. You know, if you think somebody would like it, share it and say, hey, listen to the discussion at timestamp 18. I think you'd really like the way this is covered. That helps. A personal endorsement is as powerful as anything. But I appreciate it, guys. I do appreciate all your support, all your help. Love each and every one of you. I genuinely do. I love this audience. The chat is absolutely amazing. And don't forget,